Zach Wilson. 49ers GM John Lynch said the team is actively talking with receiver Brandon Ayuk on an extension, and they haven't had any trade talks.
It's time. You know what time it is? The game for Tuscaloosa's longest running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best. Always is to win a national championship.
Something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
And Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. And now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
And a big good afternoon to you. Welcome into the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Sweet 16. How sweet it is when you look at the University of Alabama. We're going to have a little bit of a celebration today. But I want to give this guy some proper credit. Give him a little walk-up music here because I believe his favorite band is Toby Mac. So we're going to walk up with a little Toby Mac a little bit. But Alabama, when you think about 10 appearances in the Sweet 16, Alabama is able to defeat Grand Canyon. We're going to talk about it here with the head basketball coach at the University of Alabama, Nate Oates. Fire that intro music away. I hope I'm not wrong with this, but we like to be able to identify those great musicians. But Nate Oates, welcome into the game. I hope you're having a great day, sir.
I like it. That's good. We got a little Toby going.
Little Toby Mac's always text. Good. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was in a group text with Toby and Bryce True before the game, and I guess we both put Toby down for our favorite artist. So Bryce put us in a group text, and it was kind of cool.
Absolutely. Coach, I just want to start out with just congratulating you. Do you ever just stop for a minute? I know it's all about UNC, but do you ever stop and just look back at what you've been able to accomplish here at the University of Alabama?
I mean, no, probably not, because I still feel like we got a lot more to accomplish. I mean, like the Sweet 16s are good. Like somebody sent me, some other people look at some of the stuff. Somebody sent me something. There's only been 4 programs that have been 3 out of the last 4. I think it's us, Gonzaga, Creighton, and Houston. But to me, like we need to get to a Final Four here soon, and we're 2 wins away from it this year. So we're in it. We got a chance. We're alive. Like let's put all of our attention towards figuring out how to beat UNC so we can try to get to a Final Four because they haven't been to one around here yet.
Well, it's something I hope that you'll take, and maybe it's the offseason that you think about building. And I asked Greg Byrne a few weeks ago on this show, could he have ever imagined what you would be able to accomplish? He said no. No, I mean, he said, yeah. I mean, I knew I hired a good basketball coach, but to say that I could have predicted this, no, I'd be lying to you. So I think that's something that you have to take a little credit for that. And when you look at your coaching job that you've been able to do, it's pretty remarkable when you look at this year. But when you look at last night and the physicality of that basketball game, just your big takeaway from Alabama's win.
Yeah, I thought that was as good a character win as we've had all year. We've been trying to talk to our guys about basically next play in the game, but, like the next action, like quit focusing on the pass. We've been too much, whether it's good or bad, let that dictate what our effort is in the next play, and it can't. You just got to move to the next play and give max effort on that next play, and I thought we did that. We got a lead. It evaporated, got down 3. I think 3 was the most we got down. I haven't gone back and rewatched our game. But, there was time when I felt like we could have easily folded and didn't. Thought the guys showed a ton of resilience and character. And without Evan Reitzel, who's been big for us all year, thought this was Sears' best defensive game he's played all year. And then, Pringle came through. Ryland had a great game defensively, and obviously Mo Diabate came up huge in the last 5 minutes of that game. He's had a great attitude and been ready to go when we called on him all year, and he was pretty good.
Coach, but other than effort, what was the biggest difference when you look at, not being very pleased, in your words, with the defense and where you guys have been able to make in the first 2 games of the NCAA tournament? What's been the biggest difference other than effort?
I mean, effort was the biggest thing, but I also think there's been a little bit better attention to detail. And when you play hard, you move your feet better, you keep the ball out of the lane. Like, I didn't think we gave up many blow-bys. They weren't just getting by us, getting to the rim. We've people have made a big deal out of our lack of rim protection, and it hasn't been great, but you don't need that much rim protection if your guards sit down, move their feet, and stay in front of the ball. And I thought we did that a lot better, and we did have some better rim protection. So a combination of both. We contested threes hard. They only hit 2. I think they were 2 of 20 for 10%. So I just, effort changes a lot of things. We didn't give up very many blow-bys. We contested threes a lot harder. When we did get beat, we contested at the rim, made some better plays. Somebody sent me something. In the last week, our defense has been 38th best defense in the country, top 40. They kind of compare. So I told our guys, we got the number 1 offense in the country and a top 30 or 40 defense. You can make a Final Four run. So we've been top 40. And to be honest with you, that's with the major collapse after we got the 31-point lead against Charleston. If we'd have stayed locked in for the full 40, told our guys we might have a top 20 defense right now, as hard as we played for, 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes against Charleston, and really for the full 40 against Grand Canyon. So we're going to need it for the full 40 against Carolina, though, for sure.
Give me an update on Reitzel. I know you said last night in the post-game availability, but can you give us an update on a Monday afternoon?
Yeah, he's still getting with the doctor and the trainer, and I think he's going to be all the way up to Thursday. With the head injuries, whether it ends up finally getting diagnosed with a concussion or just whatever it is, they got to be symptom free, like no headaches for multiple days. So I think that's going to take us right up to the we certainly need him. We could use him. I think we're going to have to prepare to play the game without him, just in case he's not able to play, though, on Thursday. Because once you have no headache, then you've got to be able to go through a workout, a practice, and then it come up, and you can't have any kind of symptoms again. So it's and they're doing it to protect the athlete for, future, and head injuries are a big deal. So our doctor and trainer are doing things the right way. We just, it takes time, and you don't always have an answer immediately.
Coach, final question here. We're talking right now with Nate Oates. Will you guys stay out on the West Coast? Is that your plan?
Yeah, we're trying to get out right now. That's why I'm able to get on with you, as our flight got delayed a little bit. But we're going to fly right to L.A. from here. And that was the plan. When we came out here, we told everybody pack for 2 weeks. We're planning on winning 2 games in Spokane, and we're going right to L.A. And we're going to get to L.A. this afternoon or this evening, hopefully, and have 2 full days there before we play on Thursday and get our guys locked in. Just kind of stay adjusted to the Pacific time out here.
Well, if you look at flights going out there from this area, Alabama fans are going to travel to L.A. I mean, it's hard to get a flight out of Birmingham headed that way. So the smart advantage would have been to go out, stay out there for those fans. But the dedication of Alabama fans, they'll follow you guys anywhere and everywhere. And I'm sure you guys will have a big crowd on Thursday evening.
Yeah, shoot, we're going to need it, because I'm sure Carolina is going to travel big. And Grand Canyon brought a lot up here to Spokane. So hopefully we excuse me, Ryan.
You're fine.
Hopefully we get a lot out.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you. Go ahead. Get you a swallow of water. But I just want to say once again, congratulations to you. Tuscaloosa is electric. We're going to have a little bit of a celebration this afternoon and kind of participate in celebrating what you guys have been able to accomplish. When you look at the third appearance and you're tenured in 5 years, really, if you subtract COVID year, 4 years, when you think about from that. But when you look at 10 overall, wow, just you almost have to pinch yourself. But Coach, thank you again for joining. Safe travels down to L.A.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you having me on. Roll Tide.
Hey, right back to you. Thank you, Coach. Nate, giving us a couple of minutes of his time. Appreciate that. Going to stay out in L.A., and we will celebrate when you think about this moment. And no, I think he got a little bit strangled with water. It sounded like he probably yelled a little bit too much last night. But we will have a little bit of celebration. We've got some things that we wanted to dive into. We'll get to Stephen in Raleigh. We've got Drew DeArmond coming up, 97.7 The Zone up in Huntsville. We'll talk to Drew D, 977 ESPN. Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball, 7 until 9. We appreciate him and wanted to make sure that he got on that flight. So that's why he was able to jump on there for a couple of minutes with us. Appreciate the opportunity to visit. And wow. You do. I mean, it's not just telling him that, but I mean, you almost have to pinch yourself a little bit, right? I mean, you have to step back and you go, wow. I mean, think about it. 30% of Alabama's Sweet 16 appearances have come in the last 5 years, in his 5-year tenure. Alabama's been playing in basketball a long time around here. 10 Sweet 16 appearances. Martin Houston Day at lunch said, Ryan, it's been back-to-back. I'd have to go back to when I was in school since Alabama went back-to-back to the Sweet 16. But as you listen to Nate Oates, it's not about just Sweet 16. It's about doing something pretty special when it starts in L.A. I was talking with Torres via text message a couple of hours ago, and I said, Torres, you got to be there. You got to be there right there. And I know that many of our folks are headed out there as well. So we'll dive into that coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll take your phone calls, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A woman is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Tuscaloosa Monday morning. Details are sparse, but Jack Kennedy, the commander of the multi-agency Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit, said police are at Aspen Village Apartments where one female subject is deceased. Alabama is facing incoming severe weather and heavy rain along with a strong wind threat. Gradient winds preceding the storm system are a concern today, and winds are expected to increase with speeds ranging from 15 to 25 miles per hour.
Best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
DreamlandBBQ.com. Dreamland Barbecue since 1958. Coach Bryant arrived at the University of Alabama. So did Dreamland with Big Daddy's Barbecue Hickory Smoke Ribs. If you're talking about catering for that big tailgate, or maybe it's just that family gathering or that small office party, you can do it at either location. You can also order online. Carry out, curbside pickup, delivery are now available. It is DreamlandBBQ.com. We do our score prediction every Tuesday and Wednesday, made possible by Dreamland. That wonderful hickory smoked barbecue ribs. How about the Big Daddy barbecue sandwich? Those wings are underrated. They're one of the best in town. You'll find them there. How about those barbecue baked potatoes? Absolutely. Either
guarantee. Text support to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
The pharmacy at Midtown, TJ Thomas. He's the Nick Saban of pharmacists. And if your pharmacist doesn't have an Alabama shirt on, you don't want him. 205-752-0627. Sterile compounding facility, the only sterile compounding facility here in T-Town and West Alabama. All the compounding needs. The retail side, if you're looking for a pharmacy, many of those have closed here in West Alabama, and you're looking to transfer your prescriptions,
PharmacyMid.com.
Lone Star. Saturday, May 25th, Pearl River Resort's Silver Star Convention Center.
No news. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight, below 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day, becoming partly sunny. The high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 68 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The longest running sports show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
looking at what Nate Oates has been able to do here at the University of Alabama, I don't know many people. I could probably count on one hand the people that are dedicated as Drew DeArmond. And even prior to Nate Oates' arrival here at the University of Alabama, this guy was locked in. I mean, it was kind of like a friend going through misery. Noah, have you ever had a friend go through misery and you feel sorry for them, but there's really nothing you can do? That was where Alabama basketball was prior to Nate Oates arriving here at the University of Alabama. And I think all of us, I didn't care for Anthony Graham, but I loved Avery Johnson. Loved his personality, but it never was able to get over the hump. It just wasn't a good fit. But this guy is part of our celebration today. And, Nate was able to join us. They were going a little bit late there to LA. He said the flight was a little bit delayed, and appreciate him jumping on for about 8 minutes here, talking about the Sweet 16 appearance. Drew DeArmond, 97.7 The Zone. Drew, can you describe your emotions here on a Monday afternoon? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Well, it was almost a frustrating kind of game to watch, but in many ways it was a watershed moment because I don't really think I've watched this team all year, and they've been such an explosive offensive team. I've seen them win games without Latrell Reisel, but they still scored a lot of points. This is probably the grimiest, grittiest game they've had to win. I picked both games, and I had my bracket correct, but I thought Alabama would win kind of an 87-75 type first-round game against Charleston, and it was an even more high-scoring game than that. As we know, they broke 100. It was, they ended up, I believe, with 109 in that matchup against the Charleston Cougars. I think it was 109-96. So they won the game and kind of lost their intensity the last 7-8 minutes once they were up 31. I thought they played almost as far as on both sides of the court, I thought they played their best all-around game for the majority of that game against Charleston that you could argue all year. But then to come out, against Grand Canyon, who I picked upset St. Mary's. I thought it would be another up and down. I think I picked 91-83 type of game, but it became obvious, maybe 12 minutes in that this was not going to be that type of game. It was going to be a grimy, gritty game. And in the NCAA tournament, you only get one day to prepare, and I think Bryce Drew decided that he didn't want to try to run with Alabama. I think he felt like he couldn't do it. And they needed to grimy the game up. Probably had watched film and realized Alabama had struggled with physicality. And their team, were very athletic. Not a lot of skill, but athletic. And they tried to block everything. And I think Alabama had some issues, adjusting to that, and didn't really adjust to it until really the final maybe 7-8 minutes of the game. But again, I just thought Alabama, as you had told me, and this is why the NCAA tournament is the greatest event in sports, because you never know how it's going to go. In Alabama's Elite Eight run 20 years ago, they had to beat Southern Illinois on an Antoine Petway runner with about 5 seconds to go. They won that game by 1, and then they're down with 8 minutes to go. They're down double digits to number 1 seed Stanford, and they catch fire from 3. And Chuck Davis gets going, and before you know it, they come back late to win that game. In this one, if you had told me, Drew DeArmond, in the last 5 minutes, Mohamed Diabate is going to come off the bench and win this game, I would have thought, how unlikely is that? And then, to top it all off, the Auburn Tigers choke, and they choke with two guards that have played well down the stretch, including one from my area. He's from Madison County at Buckhorn High School. He's an 88% free throw shooter. He misses a front end of a 1-and-1. Trey Donaldson misses 2 free throws. And then you turn around with Alabama, and if you told me Drew DeArmond, Mohamed Diabate, who's shooting 43% from the free throw line, is going to make 3 straight free throws to help extend the lead and ultimately ice this game, I would have thought I wouldn't have wanted to put money on it. There's no way. But that's why this is a beautiful game and why I love it so much. And Mohamed Diabate had a breakout, and I started calling him basically Herb Jones the second or Herb Jones' cousin, because he has a lot of the same qualities that Herb had. It's eerie at the beginning of their careers. Both wore the number 10. Mo's wearing it now. Herb did before switching to number 1. They have a lot of the same qualities as winners, man. And I just thought, that Mohamed Diabate and Mark Sears and Nick Pringle, they're the ones that made the plays last night to win this game. And it was a tremendous accomplishment. This group has, it's been an up and down season, but they played a tremendously difficult schedule. And I think what Nate Oates did, and when they were at one time 6-5, Ryan, they played 3 straight games against Arizona, Creighton, and Purdue. All those teams are in the Sweet 16. And then the 2 teams that won at Coleman Coliseum, including where you were, yes, on press row, Tennessee and Clemson, they're both in the Sweet 16. I think all of those tests ended up leading to Alabama being able to tough this game out and win 72-61 and go back to the Sweet 16 to Los Angeles against Carolina.
All right, Drew. We've talked about two different styles, right? A grind it out, physical. I mean, I think Martin Houston told me at lunch, he said, you went to a basketball game and a fight broke out. I mean, or a football game broke out, or whatever you want to use. But when you look back at Charleston, able to score the points they did, I mean, what do you give them? What do they need to do to beat UNC, in your opinion?
Well, I think it still needs to be more of an up-and-down game. I mean, I'm certainly happy that Alabama played well defensively for the most part in 2 straight games in this regional, in the first 2 rounds of the West Regional over in Spokane. But I still think you're going to have to score the ball against Carolina. I mean, Carolina's really good. They're older. Alabama actually beat them in double overtime in Portland last year. But as we know, this is a completely different Alabama team. This Carolina team has some of the same pieces. They don't have Caleb Love, who is now the leading scorer for Arizona. But they do have a young man that, really hurt Alabama, last year, 2 years ago, and that's the transfer portal era now, for North Carolina, who, really, shot the ball exceptionally well against Duke when they won in Cameron Indoor, and has really been a quality addition to this Carolina, lineup. No question about it. He's come in and been, able to score the ball and compliment R.J. Davis. And, of course, I'm talking about, Cormac Ryan from Notre Dame. He hit 7 out of 8 and really just shot the ball exceptionally well in that first round win in that 11 over the 6-seeded Crimson Tide for Notre Dame a couple of years ago. And he's a dangerous shooter. And, of course, we know that R.J. Davis has been around forever. So is Armando Bacot. This is a team at Carolina that's really balanced. They have 5 guys that can really score. Harrison Ingram is a really good player as well. And so it's going to be interesting. I think that, they play basically 7 guys, and so they don't have a deep bench. But here's what Alabama's got to have. Alabama has got to get more out of Grant Nelson. He only scored 6 points combined in the 2 wins in Spokane. They're going to need more out of him against Carolina. He has got to find a way to get himself going. Sears was an All-American. He was the MVP of the regional, certainly the unsung hero. And the hard hat guy yesterday was Mohamed Diabate. But when you have 30 and then 26, and Sears followed that up, with 12 boards to have his first double-double, in this game against Grand Canyon, you're going to need more of that out of Sears, but he needs help. And he did get a lot of help from Latrell Wrightsell in the first game, but then Latrell went down. And when he went down, I had a bad feeling he was not going to be able to come back. And I've certainly seen Alabama win against Ole Miss and win against, Florida without him. But to beat someone like UNC is going to be a very tall task. And here's the tough part for Alabama. In those regular season games, they had Davin Cosby who could come off the bench and give them minutes and maybe replace some of Wrightsell's production. He certainly did when he hit 5 threes against Ole Miss, but he's out with a foot injury. So Alabama really needs Latrell Wrightsell back. I know Coach Oates was confident last night that he would be back. I heard him on your show just this afternoon, just now, saying that they're going to, they're still waiting for the final, word from the trainers and the doctors, and they may not know until right up before game time. I certainly hope the young man can play because he's crucial to Alabama's success on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. And if he can't play, then it heightens what I said last night. I told someone when he was ruled out, I said, look, if Alabama's going to win this game, because Grant Nelson was struggling, I was like, one of these three freshmen, Darren Stevenson, who played well against, in the first game, I thought, against Charleston, but then struggled last night. Sam Walters, who's had some good games, including that comeback win over Florida, where he caught fire, and against Arkansas. And then I thought he made some plays in game one as well. Or Mohamed Diabate is going to have to step up. It just so happened it was Diabate. It was his kind of game. It was grimy. It was physical. He had to make some, 50-50 plays and some winning plays. But again, if Reitzel can't go, then one of those guys is going to have to play well again. They're going to have a double-digit kind of scoring game. And then also, you're going to have to get some more out of Aaron Estrada. I didn't think it was one of Estrada's better games. But, Carolina's they're a much better defensive team than they were a year ago. They're going to pay extra attention to Sears. And so guys are going to have to step up. And then we're going to have to get the same kind of Nick Pringle we got, which was an angry Nick. And I thought he played very, very well against, against Grand Canyon with having to guard Baycott. He and Grant Nelson are going to have to defend without fouling and try to stay on the floor. I think this is a winnable game for Alabama, but it's got to be an 85-82, 83-80 type game. And I'll be honest, Ryan, my bracket right now, I've got 13 of the 16 remaining.
Wow.
I had 3 SEC teams that did not make it. I showed faith in Auburn and showed faith in South Carolina.
Okay, hold on. I think Auburn's still playing. Let me check. Let me real quick because let me look real quick. I think you had 14 out of 16. Oh no, they got bounced. Who did they lose to, Drew?
They lost to Yale, who lost by.
Was that yesterday? It was yesterday. Son of a gun.
That was they lost in the first round of the tournament.
First round, I thought they were not going to lose again. I thought
yeah. It didn't exactly go the way they planned. So, I had them, I had Kentucky, and I had South Carolina. They all failed to get there, but I've got, my Final Four's intact, and I had Alabama making their second Elite Eight appearance, which means upsetting North Carolina. And that's, of course, before Reitzel got re-injured, and we've seen Grant Nelson struggle. But, I'm going to show faith in the Tide, man. I think Nate Oates is an outstanding coach. You made note before I came on that, you and Martin Houston had lunch, and he's had 3 now Sweet 16 appearances in the last 4 years. Which
30%.
30%. Yeah, that's amazing what he's done, and he's just and like you said to you, he doesn't have time to look back right now. He's too busy, grinding and trying to continue to win and move forward. And the next step is to get this program back to the Elite Eight.
Well, you heard what he said, the Final Four. He said we need a Final Four. We need a Final Four.
Yeah, and Alabama does. They've got a rich history, Ryan, a much richer history in basketball than people understand. I know that once you kind of referenced it when I was as I was coming on in the intro, that they've gone through some tough times. Especially once things went south at the end of the Gottfried era. Where they were making the tournament consistently. They didn't make the tournament consistently before Nate Oates got here. I think it was twice in 13 years, which is not good. Too many NITs, but he has certainly quickly reestablished Alabama as one of the best programs in the SEC, if not the country. I think they were consistently a top 15 to 20 program nationally under Sam Newton and Wimp Sanderson, and I think that's happening again under Nate Oates. And I give kudos to Greg Burns for continuing to, take care of Nate Oates, give him the tools he needs, and take care of him financially. And I think that's why he has no interest in going to Louisville, who still has yet to name their coach. He didn't want to go to Michigan, who hired Dusty May. So there's been jobs open that he might have had interest in if he wasn't happy at the University of Alabama. He's certainly very, very happy, and we'll see what happens with John Calipari and Kentucky. I know there hadn't really been anything announced today, but look, I mean, he's got Alabama. When you have NBA general managers saying that Alabama's the 31st team in the NBA, they're considered the closest thing to an NBA franchise with the way they run their program, which is going to be very attractive to recruit. It shows you why Alabama's recruiting at the level they are, which is at the highest level I've ever seen. And they've got 2 McDonald's All-Americans coming in. They've got, another really good player in Nas Cunningham. While they've been on this run in the postseason, we already talked about, that they already received a portal addition from Pepperdine, who is going to be an outstanding perimeter player to take Aaron Estrada's place. And so it's a very exciting time right now to be an Alabama basketball fan. And the thing about Nate Oates is, it's one thing. Right now, John Calipari has kind of been struggling with how to build rosters. He can't really decide how to build his roster at Kentucky, even though they're still very talented. But the thing I love about Nate Oates, and he's done it with a completely new coaching staff, is they've been able to understand, of course you need great high school players and you need elite talent, but you also have to be older and mix it in with quality, portal additions, which they've done, like a Mark Sears, no doubt about it. So it's very, very interesting, and it's been, I think, fascinating to watch Nate Oates rebuild this roster the way he did, and this coaching staff. And to me, he should be on the short list for National Coach of the Year for getting this team.
Do you think this is his best coaching job? Do you think this is his best coaching job?
Since he's been at Alabama, yes. Because, look, I mean, he only brought 2 guys back who played a lot, Mark Sears, and Sears has jumped up from a really good player last year to arguably one of the 2 best players in the SEC and an All-American. And then you had Riley Griffin, who wasn't a starter, but he's become basically a starter this year and become a double-digit scorer in his sophomore year. And then the rest of them were all new pieces. Davin Cosby really didn't even play. And Nick Pringle was a role player. So, and then Nick, it's well documented his journey this year. So he's had to work around that, work around the Reitzel injury, and he still has Alabama in the Sweet 16. And I think it says a lot that the way he connects with his players and the way his coaches do, that Mohamed Diabate stayed, connected to his team. He stayed ready. And when he got the opportunity to make a difference last night and to win a basketball game for the University of Alabama, he did that. And now, hey, you're back in the Sweet 16 and you've got a shot against North Carolina. You're going to be an underdog. But hell, most of the media had Grand Canyon winning.
But I mean, you're a slight underdog, right? It's only like 4.5 is what it is. And I see actually 4 on several places here in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, so they're a slight underdog to North Carolina, but hey, man, you're in the Sweet 16. You're playing in Los Angeles. You're staying out on the West Coast. This is a wise move. You've got a chance to make some history and get back to the Elite Eight. And, you need to just let it rip and roll. And hopefully they can get healthy, get Reitzel back, and see what they can do against the Tar Heels. I'm certainly looking forward to watching Alabama, go to the court. Hey, just be ready, everybody. You're going to be up late because they're not going to tip off till around 8:40 p.m. Central Time on Thursday night.
Drew, I think this is the first time I've ever interviewed you and didn't ask you a football question, but I'm out of time.
Well, I mean, it's a great time to be an Alabama basketball fan. We got a lot of time to focus on Kalen DeBoer. They're doing a great job. I mean, the recruiting's going outstanding, and I know they got a lot of good work done last week. And looking forward to potentially being in Tuscaloosa next week to meet some of these guys, see some of these coaches, and see them work. And I think it sounds like there's a renewed and everybody loved what Coach Saban did and what he built, but I think there's a renewed vigor in the program. It's just a refreshing change, and sometimes you need change, and the game's changing from an NIL transfer portal perspective, and Alabama's changed their coaching staff because Nick Saban decided that he was done and wanted to retire, and he earned that right, and he did amazing things we've never seen done in college football. Now maybe he can help pick some of the things that ail the sport off the field while Kalen DeBoer keeps the ship rolling. But certainly it's an exciting time right now and around Alabama football. But Alabama basketball deserves the spotlight, and Nate Oates has certainly earned that. And certainly we're very thankful for what he's done at Alabama in just 5 years. And hopefully it's going to continue to get better and continue to grow.
Drew D 977 ESPN talking ball 97.7 The Zone, the only sports station in the Rocket City. 7 until 9 with Scott Tyson, Steve West, and all those great folks up in Huntsville. Drew, I'll see you very, very soon, my friend. Always appreciate you being part of our show.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Drew D. Armond, 97.7 The Zone. Appreciate him for jumping on for a couple of minutes. We're going to take a little celebration. Coach Smook, I see you. I think he's Stephen Raleigh's first up. Then Coach, we'll get to him. Wayne in Northport, I see you. AC in Bangladesh and many others. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
On the next Inside the Locker Room with Coach Wimp Sanderson and Barry Sanderson.
Tune in Tuesday, 7:30. We'll have Kevin Skarbinski. We'll look at the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16 ahead for Alabama. We'll talk to Kevin about that. In the second hour, Ron Higgins over in Louisiana will be on with us. We'll talk about the Kim Mulkey situation and also look into LSU football. Also take
online at Dell.com/deals. You'll have access to leading edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
DanielMooreArt.com. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. 4th and 31. The legacy continues. All those great moments in that Nick Saban dynasty. You can find it at DanielMooreArt.com. Remember, The Game is the code word for a significant discount. The Game. And also remind those guys, when you buy something, that you heard about it right here on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9. DanielMooreArt.com. All the Nick Saban prints, whether you're celebrating Mark Ingram, Bryce Young, Devontae Smith, Derrick Henry, the great Heisman moments of the university.
Find a store or switch suavemente at TotalByVerizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
You're listening to the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Tide 100.9.
To Stephen Raleigh and then Coach Smook as well. We'll go to Wayne in Northport, AC in Bangladesh. We're doing a little celebration, have a little fun, recapping the game. We'll do our Sweet 16 rematch again tomorrow. We did it last week, and many of you are still alive. Many of you crashed and burned like the Auburn Tigers. So did I just compare people who participate in this show to Auburn Tigers? My apologies. I didn't mean to do that.
Well, I mean, Jumbo, wasn't it Jumbo who took the Auburn Tigers?
You said it. No, I didn't.
I mean, he crashed and burned alongside with them.
Yeah, he was.
You ride with the losers, you go down with them.
That's right. That's right. Let's go, Steve in Raleigh. Steven, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Roll Tide, Ryan. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's just a great day to be in Tuscaloosa, man. A lot of energy.
It's a great day to be an Alabama fan, that's for sure. I can't say anything. I took Kentucky in the little competition, and boy, they went out flat also. So
that's okay. That's okay. But at least you didn't have to take Auburn. Okay. I mean, Jumbo, you will never live that down. Never.
I took Kentucky because I did not want to take Tennessee. So Orange and myself don't go well together. I can't cheer for any orange teams for sure. I'm watching that game last night, Ryan. Early on, I thought the fix was in for a little while with the officiating. And no wonder Coach Oates doesn't have a voice. He had to ride those officials hard there for a little while just to get a more fairness about the officiating. And I'm not a guy that rides the officials, I think, or uses that as an excuse. But when we were getting touch fouls and our guys were getting mugged, I can't blame Coach Oates for going crazy.
His personality, I think this team, and I think several others, but I mean, this team has kind of adopted his personality. I think the program really has adopted his personality. I mean, he's kind of he's a fire. I mean, there's a fire there that burns, and you can see it. I mean, he'll come out and he'll defend his players, but he doesn't mind getting teed up, which a lot of coaches don't mind getting teed up. But I mean, he's willing to tell you if something's not right. I like it.
I like it too. He's going to let you know about it, and he is a ball of fire. There's a fire under him, and it's one reason I think our program has come where it has, because of the fire that he instills. And it's a Saban mentality as far as what he demands from our team. You can see the fire that he demands. I want to compliment our team, Alabama, very much. They showed guts and grit that maybe hasn't been there all year. And they came to Spokane and really played hard.
Well, and think about what last night from a character standpoint. I mean, Coach's first couple of words were, that was a character win. Well, now you build up on that, right? I mean, that gives you some confidence. And as Drew talked about a couple of seconds ago, now you've got the momentum going in, right? You've got it going into Thursday's game.
Coach Oates and them came to Wake Forest in the preseason over there in Winston-Salem for that preseason game against Wake Forest. And I went over to that game, and the same team went up 12 at halftime. And when in the second half, when Wake Forest turned up the heat, and I realized it was an exhibition game, but they were still trying to win that game, this team laid down. They didn't take well to somebody being physical with them. And it's been good to watch the transformation of when they do get that, when they do have their backs against the wall a little bit, how they come out fighting. They've done it several times this year. And so I was really glad to see it.
Stephen, what else is on your mind, my friend?
Now we got a nice another linebacker, commit over the weekend. Looks like Coach DeBoer is really stressing that linebacker position right now.
He can't recruit.
Oh, right. Right, he can't recruit.
He's not going to be able to recruit the Southern kid.
Meanwhile, that's another linebacker out of Georgia that it's a 4-star, and my understanding he's up and coming on the rankings. So I'm really proud of that and really happy to see it for a coach that can't recruit.
Yeah, for
that's
a coach,
all I had.
For a coach that can't recruit, I mean, he's really off to a really good start, man. And I think it's that personality. I mean, you see it when you visit with the coaches. You see it when you visit post practice with the coaches. There's an attitude. Drew said it a couple of minutes ago. Sometimes change is good. And I know people are going to hear this the wrong way. There was a sluggish about this program for a few years. There was something that was here, but it was almost like, and I think Coach Saban could feel it. I think that's probably one of the reasons why he said, you know what, I got to move on. I got to move on, because using his verbiage, right? I mean, he told Greg Byrne after the 2022 season, we're going to have to evaluate this on a year-to-year basis. We can't, go 10 years and, whatever big contract, just keep extending. I think, and by the way, I saw a photo of Coach Saban. His tan game is it's pretty good. It's strong. I mean, he looks like he's laying on the beach every day. I mean, he's getting very, very dark, very dark.
He deserves to enjoy his retirement.
Absolutely, he does. Yes, he does, and we forever grateful for everything he gave to the University of Alabama.
You talk about a sluggishness, and I look at the coaching turnover, Ryan, and I think it all comes down to what he was having to do and how hard he was having to coach up the coaches themselves. Was contributing to that sluggishness when you don't really have the ability at his age to get the coaches that he really wanted to instill that fire in the program. And you're right, I see a renewed fire in the program with the change. But I think that speaks to Coach DeBoer in the fact that he has that same fire as Nick Saban, just portrays it in a different way. He has the same organization skills as Coach Saban. He just does it a different way. And I believe that's brought a renewed fire to the program that hopefully will portray that on the football field this fall.
Hey, Stephen, thank you so much, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Roll Tide.
Stephen Rollins.
Our customers are glad Bruce is behind the counter. Locally owned and operated with the largest inventory in the area. It's Northport Auto Supply.
Why go anywhere else?
Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food right there in Northport. If you're looking for the great specials daily, the fajitas are outstanding. The Pastor's dip, the appetizers, the fried ice cream, always a great option. It is Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food. Also find the food truck, and we are also now serving breakfast at Pastor's.
Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
Northport Power Equipment, if you're looking for chainsaw needs, if you're cleaning up those leaves or yard debris, you'll find the backpack blowers, the battery operated tools, the Echo outdoor power equipment, Crest outdoor power equipment, the battery operated tools by Husqvarna, and you'll also find great inventory on the zero-turn commercial and the residential mowers by both Skag and Husqvarna. Service department, do that end of the season maintenance at Northport Power Equipment. Sits 2 blocks east of the Northport Civic Center since 1996. Northport Power Equipment.
The Game with Ryan Fowler. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. On your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. We had Coach Nate Oates to lead out the show. He's flying to L.A. with his basketball team. They're not coming home. Why not? Might as well stay on the West Coast and go get ready to take on UNC on Thursday evening. Let's go to Wayne in Northport. Wayne, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Good afternoon, Ryan. I'm doing super well. That was a football game last night. I know it said basketball, but I think they confused the referees.
They had shoulder pads on, helmets, mouthpiece, which I know they wear mouthpieces in basketball as well, but that one was physical.
Man, I'm telling you. And I think we got ticked off. We got behind, and instead of getting nervous, we got mad.
I like it. I like it when teams play mad.
Yeah, it's a good thing. We needed toughening up a little bit, and I think that's what that game did last night. And if we're going to beat UNC, it's going to be the same kind of game because Baycott is a beast downstairs.
And he's got to have at least a PhD. He may have 2, but he's been there forever.
He's been there for 5 years. He's got Tim Duncan. If he gets a double-double on us, which I hope he doesn't, but if he does, he breaks Tim Duncan's record.
Will he really? Okay.
Double-doubles in the NCAA.
Okay. Wow. Well, he can camp out and got to make him work.
Main thing you do, just shoot it over their head and make it go in the basket.
That'll work too. We can get hot. We had a hot game on Friday, right? Then right. now you find a way to get that type of game last night. Then you get a hot game on Thursday, and let's go to the Final Four.
Exactly. Well, if we can beat
I get it. We're going to have to go through Arizona or Clemson.
Arizona. Yeah. And both of them, we owe them both one, so we'll get them while we're out there.
Wayne, you've been following Alabama basketball for a long time. I can remember going to games and seeing you there. Put it in words from your perspective what Nate's been able to do here in Tuscaloosa.
The energy is back. Well, I know when Coach Sanderson was here, that place was a madhouse. And it's getting back to that. And there's a stat. This is the first time we've made back-to-back NCAA Sweet 16 appearances since 90 and 91. And then Coach Sanderson had his unfortunate dismissal the next year in 92. So this program, as you said, was aced steadily for a lot of time. And it's back now. The energy's back. And if they fly back here after the Final Four, there's going to be a big crowd. I mean, if we go to the Final Four and they come back, there'll be a crowd waiting on them at the airport.
And I would imagine they I don't know. I mean, he said they get a pack for 2 weeks, so I don't know. I mean,
LA to Phoenix, who knows? We may have to pack for 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, Wayne, if we have to take a U-Haul to Phoenix and we have to pack up all the equipment and an extra change of clothes for everybody that's part of that, I think you and I could do that, right? I mean, that's the least we could do. Fair enough?
Yeah, it's the least we could do. And if we go to Phoenix, somebody needs to get you some sponsors, buddy. You need to be there.
Wow. That's that would be an option. Still trying to recover from that trip to L.A. a few weeks ago.
You don't need to go to L.A. You need to wait till we go to Phoenix and then go.
Yeah, Phoenix is a little easier because you can go. I don't think you can go direct, but you can hit Birmingham, Houston, Phoenix pretty easy.
The easiest thing to do. Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, the best thing about it is Charles Barkley is going to have to sit there and watch us at the Final Four if we go. And it's in his
hold on, Wayne.
Hometown of Phoenix.
Did Auburn get bounced?
Yeah, they got bounced in the first round.
No, are you serious? No way.
Yeah, he called us Alabama University.
I thought
Bruce, I got one more thing to say. Charles, we are the University of Alabama. Get over it, and we'll see you in Phoenix, buddy.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. And I think
all right, buddy.
He has a home. I think he has a home out there, so maybe we could stay with Uncle Charles there. We appreciate that. We'll get to AC in Bangladesh, Jacob in Indiana. Coming up in a couple of minutes, R&R Cigars, locally owned and operated by Reagan and Randy Starner. R&R Cigars, 1,000 different cigars to choose from. If you're not making it to L.A. Thursday night, probably going to be hopping and a popping right there on 2703 6th Street. R&R Cigars, the home theater seating, big HD TVs. You'll find it at R&R Cigars. We'll continue. Final, 1 hour in, 3 hours to go. We'll enter the 3 o'clock hour. Coming up next, T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
NFL owners meetings going on in Florida, and today hip drop tackles were banned by the league. The NFL Network did say that expect more fines than actual flags during games for violations. Replay assistants will now be allowed to make corrections on incorrect calls for roughing the passer and intentional grounding, and head coaches now will be awarded a third challenge if they just get one of their 2 challenges successful. Packers and quarterback Jordan Love have had talks on a contract extension. That's according to GM Brian Gutekunst, while 49ers GM John Lynch says they continue to speak with wide receiver Brandon Ayuk on a new deal and have not had trade talks with other teams involving Ayuk. Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani will make a statement around 5:45 Eastern time today, but won't field questions from reporters.
We're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
A huge part of the game is SEC Parlay Pick Day on Friday. It's made possible by Brian Harden Construction, a diverse business, crane and equipment rentals up to 320-ton cranes available, the CNC machines, reverse engineering, laser cutting, specialists in modern construction. It's bhardenconst.com. Experience you can count on. Let's build something together. The website, very informative. It is bhardenconst.com. Brian Harden Construction, industrial contractors and fabrication, I-beam installation, Brian Harden Construction. Every Friday made possible by Brian Harden Construction.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight. The low 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day. Becoming partly sunny. The high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 68 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Any way you want it, the way you need it, any way you want it. She loves to laugh, she loves to sing, she does everything. She loves to move, she loves to groove, she loves a lot of things. All night, oh, every night. So hold tight, ooh baby, hold tight.
All right, we are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyland Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. The great dealership, 3325 Skyland Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. We're taking your phone calls. We'd love for you to jump in. We had Coach Nate Oates to lead out the 2 o'clock hour. We had Drew DeArmond a couple of minutes ago. Barrett Salih's got a big prediction around Jalen Milroe. I think you're going to like it. We'll talk about it at 3:30. Right now, it is AC in Bangladesh. AC, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Good afternoon, sir. How you feeling? Thanks so much for taking my call.
I'm good. How are you feeling? That's the most important thing.
I'm doing great, man. I'm talking to you. How's Mr. Producer doing?
Noah, how are you doing? He's giving me a thumbs up. He's good. He's busy. He's over there. I don't know what he's doing. He's got about 4 different screens over there. So
I'm affecting the stock market over here.
Oh, he's impacting the stock market. Well, the stock market closed down, so I don't know if that's good. So he didn't impact it very good.
All right. Well, I'm glad he's doing great. Here's the thing, Mr. Fowler. I never lasted 9.5 hours with a perfect bracket until Kentucky went down. I was like, God, how did I last 9.5 hours? Did someone hack into my account? Because I don't last until second game. What about you, Mr. Fowler? How long did your perfect bracket last?
Oh, mine's still perfect.
Oh, God bless you, man. So it looks like you had a young...
He's lying.
Bulldog beating... Of course. I'm being sarcastic.
No,
okay?
I mean, mine's still perfect. I mean, I'm still rolling.
I know you're rolling. But here's the thing, Mr. Fowler. You know, there's a second chance bracket that came out on ESPN, and I did enter the challenge, and I'm opening up for everybody else. So if anyone wants to look me up, AC 2024, I'm going to do men's and women, and I'm calling out Bama Nick. I want to challenge you, Bama Nick. So one by one, you know, the group name, guess what it says in the group name, Mr. Fowler? It's appropriate. Guess what it says?
What is it?
It says, smash 'em, stack 'em one by one. That's my mentality, right? I mean, that's what Alabama Crimson Tide are known for. I'm talking about the football team. Smash 'em, stack 'em one by one, right?
Well, we'll do our contest tomorrow. Who did you pick to win it all?
Of course, it's Connecticut Huskies. I'm not going to have your Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, when was the last time we had a rip? I mean, why I did not have Alabama, but I took Connecticut? That's your question?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, matter of fact, Friday could be your depressing show because the way you guys are hyping things up. I'd rather go with a team who has more experience compared to a team who doesn't have experience. So I'd rather go with North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, I have Connecticut winning just because they have experience. That's number one. And number two, let's face it, when was the last time we had a repeat champion? I mean, you should know this answer as well, right? The last team to repeat as a back-to-back men's national champion. Do you know that answer, Mr. Fowler?
No.
Florida Gators.
Chicago Bulls?
2007. No, Florida Gators. 2007. Not the Chicago Bulls. We're not jumping from NCAA to NBA, right? I mean, we have to stay in topic.
To be honest with you, I haven't followed anything. I mean, I'm trying to follow it, but it's a little bit of a challenge.
I mean, you don't have to follow. I mean, you're in sports business, so you have to know a little bit. So
I'm following
Florida
you. I'm
Gators
talking about
were
this call, the last 3 minutes. I'm my head's spinning.
Well, your head should be spinning all the time when I'm talking to you.
It is.
You should be. It should be spinning all the time. Make sure you have your medication. Make sure you have your vitamins, supplement, et cetera, because, hey, I don't want to be responsible if you end up in the hospital, okay? I don't want to be.
Hey, Steve, do you have anything else? Because I'd like to move on. I mean, hopefully. I'm trying to follow this. So you got a women's bracket that you want to invite us to. You got a men's bracket that you want to invite us to. And you called out Bama Nick.
Yes, I did.
That's it?
But positive way. I want to challenge him as well. Positive way, okay? I'm not bad-mouthing Bama Nick.
In a positive way. So what would be the difference?
Well, I mean, whatever you want to do. I mean, I don't know. So maybe we can do something like if AC wins, I'll be your number one caller. He's going to be his whatever caller. We can do that. Or you can call the shot. If he wins, once a week I'll say, Bama Nick, you're the number one caller, but guess what? He's not beating me. He is not going to beat you either. I don't think so. But again,
I mean, AC,
I
think a goal would be to get out of the last place hole, not the first place. You got to start from somewhere, right? You got to get out of the bottom, and then I don't know if you're ready for Bama Nick.
I think what I can do is I can start from the bottom. I can climb up slowly, one by one.
Real slow.
Stack him one by one until I get in top of that tree. I chop it off. I like that.
Okay.
Can you climb a tree? Let me ask you a question. Can you climb a tree?
No. Mm-mm.
Probably you should. Trust me. It's a beautiful challenge you can ever get. Probably have to go through the farm like.
I mean, I can climb one with a tree stand. Does that count?
I mean, it's a practice for you, right?
Yes.
You can practice. Absolutely.
No, Noah, do you know how to climb trees? Okay. I mean, I'll nominate Noah as our tree climber.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna do it faster.
Noah, can you help me with this phone call? I mean, I literally don't know where I'm going. I mean, we've covered.
I turned away for 2 minutes, and now you're talking about climbing trees.
I mean, it's been all over the place. This 5 minutes has been. I mean, my head. I don't even know where I'm at. Don't know where I'm going. But AC,
I have an idea for you, Mr. Fowler.
Anything else?
Before I hang out, I have an idea for you.
Holla.
Yes. Why don't you dial 911? You need some help right now.
I know it.
Holla.
See, he's always talking about it. Did anybody make any sense out of that phone call? Like any? I mean, like can someone? Let me ask Super Joe if he can translate. Super Joe, can you help me with that? I mean,
that guy put me to sleep.
No, he wouldn't just put me to sleep. He would make me go do drugs.
Oh, shoot. That's it, man. That was like, I mean, good grief. I could listen to a dang soap opera and then went in a shooting. I got more of that. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I'd rather listen. I'd rather listen to the Auburn fight song on a loop for an hour than to try to.
Who in the hell was this guy?
Some guy calls us from Bangladesh.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
But, I mean, my biggest takeaway, I mean, the only thing I understood is he asked me if I know how to climb a tree.
What the hell that got to do with Alabama football? I swear I could. I don't know. I don't get this guy, but I don't know. I think I will shoot. I don't know. I hate to say this, but I would get more. I'd rather say, you know what, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, Lord. Now, what were you going to say?
I said, man, I'd rather hear a phone call from Iron Man than hear that dang rascal call.
Me too, Super Joe. I'm right there with you, man, because I didn't understand anything of what he was talking about. I mean, we're having a celebration. Super Joe, did you watch the basketball game last night?
I caught some of it. I didn't get to catch the whole thing, but I'll tell you, I was impressed. We up in the March Madness. We up in there in that Sweet 16. Could we go all the way? Maybe, maybe not. But I'll tell you what, I am A. Hey, it's all possible.
But you're rooting hard for the Tide.
Yeah, I'm always rooting hard for the Tide, but I don't get into the basketball like I do the football and the boxing.
Okay. Are you ready for A-Day, Super Joe?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, and I'm planning to make 2 games this year. Okay, I'm the Western Kentucky and the Mercer. And that's the ones I'm probably going to make those 2. Now, if anything, let me ask you something. They said you could catch a train station to go to Louisiana, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, now, like, when you go to New Orleans, okay, from Tuscaloosa to New Orleans, is it okay, when you get to New Orleans, is there trying to run you to Baton Rouge?
I don't know, Super Joe. I'm sorry.
Okay, how far is New Orleans from Baton Rouge? I've never been to Baton Rouge.
Like an hour, maybe in 15, 20 minutes north. And maybe I'm maybe under a few minutes. But it's within, it's within a decent, hour and a half.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
You can rent a car.
Can I go to the Northport, the Tuscaloosa, the Northport Airport or something? Can I catch it from there? Will they let me do that?
What, they don't have any, like, you can catch a private plane at a Northport Airport or Tuscaloosa Regional, but you can't, I don't think you can catch like a commuter. I guess, what are you trying to go to Baton Rouge, just for the game?
Yeah, when they play LSU.
Okay.
Yeah, they play LSU or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Amtrak might be an option. You might want to take a Greyhound bus. Maybe that would be a simpler. But, I mean, it's not a bad drive, Super Joe.
No, it ain't.
I mean, it's less than 5 hours to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, true that.
It's not, and you can stop and you can get you a lottery ticket in Mississippi.
Huh.
See, there's your option right there.
Uh-huh.
But I promise you, they'll probably be taking some buses down, too.
Yeah, more likely. But but I'll tell you what, though, what I want to get at is, though, with Alabama football, with Kalen DeBoer, I mean, I'm here to wait. We about to have a top-notch offense that's hitting like on 100. With the receivers spread up, we got the right running back, the offensive line. Shoot.
So what's been your thoughts? Because you haven't called us in a few weeks, Super Joe. What's been your thoughts of Kalen DeBoer?
Well, I'll tell you what, Kalen DeBoer knows his stuff. And I mean, one thing about it, we let him bring his own product in, let him work his own instruments. It's like this, okay, it's like this. When the Gap Band leaves, okay, they're gone. But then when the head lead singer, Kool and the Gang, comes in and wants to take over, he got to bring in his crew. So this is Kalen DeBoer. And this man might come in here winning, and we might get the national championship this year. And it's just like when Wallace Wade left, and Frank Thomas automatically, came in and stepped in and put his recipe in. And guess what? Now the tide kept on sailing. It's like this: the foundation led to the successor, but in reality, we might just have somebody that might just be, he's already national championship ready because he's been there before. And that's what I said before Nick said every time. We're going to get somebody national championship ready that can keep the bar raised high. And so far, we're hearing that Kalen DeBoer has got the steaks frying, porterhouse smelling well done from a mile away.
Wow.
The fries are crispy. The salt is right up on there. And we got the Heinz ready. And guess what? And the tossed salad, whether it be Thousand Island, Blue Ranch, or that bacon dressing, is getting ready to be right in Crimson Tide country.
Super Joe, do you follow me on Twitter?
I catch a little bit. I haven't looked at much at Twitter lately because I be so tied up and everything and stuff. I've been kind of, kicking it back a little bit. I spend more time listening to you on the radio than I do sometimes. Okay.
I'm bringing something up for a reason because I put out something on the Twitter side of things, and I read it like this. Okay, I'm just going to read you what I put up. Right now, it's got 130,000 views. I said, I think other fan bases in the SEC are starting to feel anxiety. They can see that there's not going to be a drop-off in Tuscaloosa. Looks like they might have celebrated a little bit too early after Nick Saban's retirement. I talked to recruits, parents of recruits, current players, parents, staff members, or just people that I've trusted for many years. There's a positive vibe in the building that's hard to describe, but you can feel it when you go in the building for any media access that we are given. For several years, I've tried to imagine what the Saban transition would look like. I know we're only 71 days in the DeBoer era, but the transition looks to be going a lot smoother than a lot of us could imagine a few years ago. And I said that's only a credit to Kalen DeBoer, but also a foundation that Nick Saban's built for the last 17 years. And I didn't read you that for more information because we talk about this almost every single day. But you need to go. You need to go and look and look at the responses from people. It will blow your mind at the Georgia. That now I know why Bama Nick calls us from Georgia, and Josh in Georgia calls us, and Atlanta, I believe, Chuck over in Georgia calls us. We have several people that from that area that I feel like we're number one in the Georgia market, but even though we're in Tuscaloosa, reading the Georgia responses. Do they know that they lost to Nick Saban at the University of Alabama just a few months ago? Do they get it?
They know that they get it, but they think it's going to start going back in Kirby Smart way. But as of right now,
okay. But let's compare it this way: when they hired Kirby Smart, and when we just hired Kalen DeBoer 73 days ago, who had better credentials, Kirby Smart or Kalen DeBoer? It's not even comparable. It's not even comparable. Kirby had not had a head coaching job. But it's amazing that these Dog fans just have kind of this thought process. It's like Alabama's just going to slide off to Neverland. Oh, you guys are done. Does anybody want to go remind them that we've got 18 national titles? We were winning prior to Coach Saban's arrival at the University of Alabama, and we'll be winning when Kalen DeBoer retires 25 years from now. That's just what happens here in Tuscaloosa. What's that song, Super Joe? All we know how to do is win, 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 win. That should be our theme song. That should be our theme song, Super Joe. All we know to do is win, 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 win. That's all we do, Super Joe.
And then let's sing a song over. All you want to do is dream, dream, dream,
dream. Well, I always like the Oak Ridge Boys when I think about Auburn. You'll always be number 2. I'll settle for. See, no, you are. Anyway, we'll have to play that song. You always be number 1.
You like the Oak Ridge Boys. I think that was one of your favorite groups from back in the old days.
No, I just like that song.
I like songs like I like
that big bass voice. That big bass voice that kicks in. You know what I'm talking about, like the. Yeah.
You know, like when y'all play songs like "I'll Be Around," the Rubber Band Man, stuff like that on there.
Oh, the Rubber.
Y'all play songs like that. Okay, that's the Spinners. Okay, and I tell you what, that was my favorite singing group from the old days.
I got you.
You probably know the songs when you hear them. You remember that song, "I'll Be Around"? You remember that song, "Whenever You Want Me, I'll Be There"? You remember that song?
Sing it a little bit and let's see if I know it.
Whenever you want me, I'll be there. I'll be around. You don't remember that song?
A little bit more, Super Joe. A little bit more.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you do it because I'm not the band. You may know it's going to I'm falling in love with you, baby. Could it be I'm falling in love?
There you go. I know the song you're talking about. I know the song.
That's the Spinners.
Okay.
That's the Spinners.
See, I like old school stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff makes sense because it
made sense. That's right, Super Joe. It made sense.
My mother rocked me to sleep playing the Spinners, when praying and kind of and I know I can remember the Spinners songs, but I can't rock about a baby. Okay, I can remember the songs just like even like I just grew up on. It's always stuck in my. It always stuck in my head when I heard a Spinner song. Like the songs that died just follow me to school, But then, you hear some one-of-a-kind love affair is the kind of love that you read about in the fairy tale. That's the Spinners right there. That's them. And then you remember that song, you remember that song called How Can I Let You Get Away? You remember that song? Well, you remember that song, Then
you had to sing another.
I never knew love before. Then came you. With Dion. That's them with Dionne Warwick. You probably know if you ever hear it. Oh yeah, man. So over Mighty Love, man. I could tell you like my favorite group. That was my first favorite. The OJ's was my second. Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes was my third. When Teddy Pendergrass was the lead singer, and the Temptations were my fourth.
Gotcha. Super Joe, you've been a friend a long time, man. I appreciate you as always for being a part of our show.
Roll Top Hot now.
Absolutely. Super Joe used to go into my church sometimes. He would sit with us, and we always had some great conversations. We'll go to Jacob in Indiana. Coming up in a couple of minutes, T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A woman is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Tuscaloosa on Monday morning. Details are sparse, but Jack Kennedy, the commander of the multi-agency Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit, said police are at Aspen Village Apartments where one female subject is deceased. In addition, a Hoover woman was killed Sunday night in a head-on collision on the interstate in Tuscaloosa. Also, the Town Square Media Weather Center is monitoring a weather system that could travel across the state of Alabama, bringing concerns of strong storms, windy conditions, and heavy rainfall to the area. You can read about these stories and more.
With Allstate, why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit Allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight. The low 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day, becoming partly sunny. The high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 70 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Never miss a moment of the action. Download the free Tide 100.9 app today.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them say that.
Ludacris going in on the verse cause I've never been defeated in a
All right, here we go. 205-342-9904. We'll talk to Martin Houston coming up at 4. Barrett's Elite coming up in a couple of minutes from Outkick. But let's go to Jacob in Indiana. Jacob, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, my friend.
How are you today, Ryan?
I am great. The celebration ongoing here in Tuscaloosa, Jacob. Sweet 16.
Yeah, I on my bracket, I didn't want to do. I got Alabama. I want them to win, but honestly, I'm doing a challenge with some friends and at church and stuff. And
okay.
I don't want them to, but I have Alabama losing. But
who do you have us losing to? Who do you have us losing to, Jacob?
North Carolina.
Okay, so you had us going this far. You just got us getting beat by UNC.
I had us easily going this far, but if we can beat them, I know we can beat them, but we got to play our hardest. We got to play our best. Our defense needs to, they need to just to get in their groove and play.
Are you a big Nate Oates fan?
Yeah. I listened to him earlier on the game.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun, a lot of energy that he's brought to Tuscaloosa. I mean, let it sink in. I mean, we've been to Sweet 16 10 times in the history of Alabama basketball. 3 of those are from his tenure here in 5 years.
It's funny to think we've been in it 10 times, but we haven't won a single national championship or even been into the Final Four.
Yeah, just one time the Elite 8 back in the early 2000s. Pretty good basketball team that year. But as Nate Oates said, we need a Final Four.
We do. But
why not this year, Jacob? Why not this year?
I mean, I just did. I think that'd be really cool if they did it this year. I said, Daddy, since they never have, talking to my dad, I said, can you please buy tickets if they make it to the national championship?
I think you need to be there, Jacob.
But we'd have to drive.
Yeah, that's a long way. And you live what part of Indiana? Southern part of Indiana?
We're about 50 minutes from Indianapolis.
Oh, south?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So.
What city you live in, Jacob? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
No, it's not really a city, but we just live Rushville County.
Okay.
Around Shelbyville.
Okay, that's right. You told me that, Shelbyville, which is that close to Brown County where they do the skiing and the snow tubing and all that? No.
Maybe, but I don't No, I don't.
Are you close to Bloomington?
Yeah, I think we're about maybe 40 minutes.
Okay. Where IU is? Okay.
Oh, no. Wait. I don't actually know.
Okay. You just know you live in Indiana. That's cool. I got you. Well, I think I told you my wife is from the state of Indiana.
Yeah, you said she's from what part of Indiana?
She's from Muncie.
Muncie, that's an hour away from us.
Okay. Yeah, I need to. Oh, okay. I just pulled it up. Okay. I see where you guys are at. You're out towards Cincinnati. So, like, you're closer there than you are Bloomington. Okay, I got you. So, yeah, you would. Okay. I know where you're at. I just pulled it up. So,
yeah.
For some reason, Shelbyville didn't hit the nail there. Okay, I got it. Well, Brown County is a beautiful area. It's down close to Bloomington, and it's like a ski resort area. Beautiful part of the state.
Yeah, are you excited for A-Day?
I am super excited, and I hope that Alabama fans will show up, and it'll be the only SEC team that'll be telecast, I believe, the only spring game on ESPN.
Yeah, I've never been able to go to A-Day, but I've at least been to a game. But I'd really like to go. My cousins are going down there.
Well, that is super, super awesome. We'd love to have you. And have you ever been to a game at all? Not just A-Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a Missouri game, Alabama, Missouri.
Okay. Well, it's super cool, Jacob. Jacob, I need to send you a little Daniel Moore stuff. Tell you what, let me put you on hold. Give Noah your address, and I'll drop you something in the mail.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Just a second.
Well, hey, I'll put you back on hold. You can give it to Noah off the air, okay?
Okay.
I don't want you to do it on the air, but do it off the air. Jacob, thank you, man. Roll Tide to you.
Roll Tide, Ryan.
Right back to you. Jacob, young man from Shelbyville, Indiana, listening to us. We appreciate him for listening to us. We'll talk to Barrett Sallee.
I want to make sure that we give that to them each and every time they come and visit us.
The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco God.
TuscaloosaToyota.com, a huge part of our show. We are powered by those guys every single day. The service department, always great. The new inventory side, all those new Toyotas comes with that lifetime powertrain warranty. And right now, we have the most inventory that we've had in over 2.5 years. Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, Highlanders, 4Runners, Tundras, Tacomas, also the pre-owned inventory. Most of the pre-owned inventory comes with...
That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 300 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. LUMEdeodorant.com, code 300.
You're inside the game on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
He heard one guitar, just blew him away. Walked on any night, and the very next day, bought a beat-up 6 in a second-hand store. Didn't know how to play it, but he knew for sure that one guitar felt good in his hand. Didn't take long to understand. Just one guitar slung way down low was a one-way ticket, only one way to go. So he started rocking.
He is the host of College Football Smothered and Covered. You can find that where you get your podcast, Outkick. He's a columnist there, SiriusXM College 84. He's a host there, Barrett Sallee. Welcome into the game. I hope all is well. Welcome in.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Hey, here we go. A little March Madness, Sweet 16. Any takeaways from Alabama's performance last night?
I mean, they weathered that storm. That was wild. I mean, that was absolutely wild to do that. Like that game was just a knockdown, drag out, heavyweight fight. And I know folks will say, well, it's Grand Canyon. Yeah, well, go watch that game again because, I mean, it was punch, counter punch, and it was awesome to watch. I mean, I think in terms of entertainment value, that was the most entertaining game of the tournament by far. And I don't even know if it can be matched at this point.
Well, and put it off on the TBS side of things might have been a mistake because that had to be some good ratings for TBS.
Well, I don't work for CBS and Turner and the March Madness folks anymore, but the idea of having two standalone games at noon, or one at noon, one at 2:40, and then 6 that start at 5:15 or later on a school night is stupid. So hopefully people stayed up and watched it. I know I did.
A lot of energy around Alabama basketball, and really what Nate Oates has been able to build here in a short amount of time. Alabama's been to the Sweet 16 10 times in the history of Alabama basketball. 30% of those are Nate Oates in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean that seems all right. That seems like he's doing a pretty good job. He's taking advantage of the resources that Alabama provides and the SEC provides, and I think there's nothing to suggest that's going to change. I think the fact that they locked him down, that Alabama locked him down for so long, shows that, they're dedicated to basketball. And that's not to say they didn't want to have a successful program before. Of course they did. But, when you get rocking like this, when you, have a coach and a program that is, barreling down the tracks of, NCAA appearances and Sweet 16 appearances and Central Final Four appearances every single year, you don't mess with what works. And I mean, man, it's awesome. It's fantastic to see. I love the fact that generally in the SEC, just college basketball is more balanced than ever. And yeah, the SEC's had its issues in this tournament, but I mean, go watch Alabama and Tennessee. Those two teams can win national championships. Those are national championship caliber teams.
Barrett, you put up a post a couple of hours ago about Jalen Milroe, actually about an hour ago. Can Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe win the Heisman? You put that as a question, maybe, but you talk about his odds. So far, 6 practices in, he's probably the topic of conversation. The adjustment that he's made to Kalen DeBoer is probably ahead of schedule of what this offense is trying to get him to present, to get him to buy into. Everything I've heard, it's off the charts around Jalen Milroe in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, and on my show today, I went in depth about that because we talked about Heisman odds, both positive and negatively. Who out there is good value, who is not. And I mentioned Jalen. It's plus, 1,500 right now.
Wow.
So, I'm not picking Jalen to win it right now. Like, I think I don't think he will win it. I think it'll be Quinn Ewers or Carson Beck, whatever. But if I get $1,500 on my return of a $100 investment, absolutely, I'm with Jalen Milroe because, his strengths fit what Kalen does. And I think that is, it's obvious, but you can build off of that. And, Penix couldn't run. Jalen can. So the upside for this offense is huge if Jalen takes what Kalen is selling. That's odd that they rhyme. And I'm going to take some time to get used to that.
Jalen and Kalen. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
But, it's the foundation is there. And I said this, and Canes fans got mad at me because I said, I don't think Cam Ward can make it. But if you're going to win the Heisman Trophy now, you have to make the playoffs, period. End of story. Back in the day, RG3 didn't, Lamar didn't, last year Jaden Daniels didn't. That's not going to be the case anymore. You have to make the playoffs. And I think it's a fairly strong assumption that Alabama's going to be in the mix for that this year. And if they are, it's going to be because of their quarterback and the success he has. So, I think that right now, you look at some of these odds that are out there, and some are stupid, some are smart. You can't bet these big time anyway. They're both mostly just for topics of conversation. But they're all sort of, in line with each other. And with Jalen Milroe at plus 1,500, that's a pretty safe bet. That's a pretty solid bet because, based on the odds out there, if you win, you're going to cash in.
And I'll take the over on the 9.5 win total for Alabama too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't necessarily think you can't expect Saban numbers. You can't expect Saban results. That's irresponsible. And even if I told you that you were telling people that, I'd tell you you're irresponsible. But over 9.5, yeah, they're probably closer to a 10-win team than a 9-win team. So yeah, I think that would be sad. Honestly, I probably wouldn't touch that, to be honest with you right now.
It's not a lot of value.
We don't. Yeah. Well, and honestly, right now we don't know what Alabama's roster is going to look like. So I wouldn't actually touch that with a 10-foot pole right now because we don't know what the roster is going to look like. But But yeah, I mean, if I had to do it right now, I'd probably say over. They're closer to a 10 than a 9.
Barrett, does Kirby have a problem on his hands? Because I know that it's like the microscope when things go wrong and then other things back that up. But over the weekend, seems like a little bit of culture problem there in Athens. You're a lot closer to it than I am. Thoughts?
I wouldn't say it's a culture problem. I mean, look, I think there are a bunch of ways to go about this, and we could talk all day about the Athens PD. I mean, the Athens PD absolutely lives and dies by traffic tickets. Like, I'm not saying like at Georgia players. I'm saying they make so much money off of that. So they will absolutely pop anybody. And I think as far as football players go, none of this would be that big of a deal had the tragedy not happened last
Absolutely,
fall.
Sure.
And, you know, fair or not, that puts a microscope on a program. And, you know, the combination of, you know, a city, a municipality that really puts a lot of effort into traffic violations, coupled with the tragedy last offseason, then, yeah, you get things that are unwarranted, you know, more eyeballs. Like, I'm not saying this is a DUI. Now, if you read the report, he actually wasn't under the legal limit. He got a DUI because he was underage and had a drink or two. Still doesn't excuse DUI, but, I mean, you know, some of these incidents like, you know, a suspended license or going 55 and a 35, because of what happened, get blown out of proportion or just draw eyeballs. And it creates an idea, creates a sort of narrative that it is an out-of-control program when a lot of these are just separate incidents. And they really shouldn't be tied together. With that said, there's a really, really easy way to fix this, and that's for Georgia, the athletic department. I'm talking about Kirby, I'm talking about the entire athletic department, put together a program and say, look, if you feel like you're driving crazy, if you don't want to drive, whether you're drunk, not drunk, you're just lazy, doesn't matter. We'll come pick you up.
Similar to the NFL. Similar to the NFL system. Do it.
Yeah.
You know, I got a friend of mine.
Honestly,
go ahead.
And look, if someone's drunk, if I'm a Georgia player and I'm 3 sheets to the wind and I call Kirby and I'm 19 years old, call the athletic department and say, hey, come pick me up. I'm underage, but I'm hammered. You can easily say, if you have that program, hey, look, no questions asked. We'll deal with it internally. No questions asked, though. We will find a way to get you home, because that is the most important thing. You know, we can sit here and talk about breaking laws, whatever. As long as everybody's safe, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Well, and I had a friend of mine that plays in the NFL, and I asked him about this one time. I said, show me the card. They keep a card in their wallet, and it guarantees them the league somehow has wherever they call from, they will arrange them a ride. So when I see NFL players that get in trouble, I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, you had a free out right there. And they don't even take they don't report the information to the team. They just get you home safely. And a lot of these campuses do that. Barrett, I mean, think that Alabama has something in place for their students. I'm sure it's probably the same for the athletic department. But, I mean, that would be a good implementation.
Yeah, I mean, and there are some things where you can judge players, college players, for just being idiots when it comes to the law. Like, if you get caught for having an out-of-date license, expired license, you're an idiot. Like, it's not that hard to not have an expired license. And, like, things like, double park and parking violations. If you're double parked, you're just a jerk. I don't care who you are.
You just made me look at my license to make sure I'm not expired. No, I'm 2025. I'm good.
There you go. You got some time.
Well, I mean, it's amazing how those things will slip up on you just a little bit. But, hey, Barrett, promote the podcast. Talk about how folks can connect with you.
Yeah, College Football Smothered and Covered. You can search for it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Rumble, you name it. It's everywhere. And then you can read my stuff on Outkick. And teaser alert. The next time we talk, Ryan, there will be something else added to my my list of outlets that I think some of your fans will like quite a bit.
Whoa, what a tease. So you're going to add to the responsibility.
I'm going to be really busy for a little while.
Barrett, I don't know how you do it, man. A lot of entities And really that's the going theme when you look at podcasts and everything that you're able to do there at Outkick. So more responsibility. What a tease. We'll talk to you next Monday. I'm sure that'll be a big news. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. See you.
Thank you. Barrett Salee. That's a little bit of a tease. Don't you call that a radio tease? Guess we'll find out next Monday because I call it. I don't know.
Or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
You know, we talk about grilling so often. If you want to dominate the grill today or any day, go visit our friends at Mark's Mark in downtown Northport. I walk in there all the time. There's new things added, whether you're trying to amp up the spice cabinet or whether you're going in for a great ribeye, a salmon swirl, a chicken swirl, that's what they're home of since 1978. The seafood entrees, the great cheesecake, the great pies that are made here locally in Alabama, the Blue Spring Living Water. You'll find it at
Not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit Allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Alabama Credit Union. Feel good about your money. AlabamaCU.com. The mobile app makes banking so much more convenient. All the mobile deposits, many times you don't even have to go into the bank to manage your money, whether we're talking about checking, savings, mortgage, home equity loan, financing a vehicle. And remember, Roll Tide, show your pride with the official credit card of the University of Alabama Alumni Association. AlabamaCU.com. Alabama Credit Union with great branches all over West Alabama and throughout the state of Alabama. Alabama Credit Union.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight. The low 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day. Becoming partly sunny. The high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 69 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Want to know what's going on with the Crimson Tide? Download the Tide 100.9 app today.
Into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. The Spring Open House starts Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Free barbecue, free gifts. It is happening at Northport Power Equipment. Financing available. Great chance to go out and get a free barbecue sandwich. That'll be 11 a.m. until 1:30. But the deals are not going to be just one day. You're going to have multiple days, including Chad Gainey is going to be the carving artist, is going to be out there, the chainsaw carving artist. You can also see the world's greatest auto mower. That will also be available, and you'll see that at Northport Power Equipment. Spring Open House, the Echo Outdoor Power Equipment, the Crest battery-operated tools, Husqvarna battery-operated tools, and the zero-turn mowers you'll find at Northport Power Equipment. Biscuit Bruce, how are you, my friend? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Always great to be on Tide 100.9 with. We're in the Sweet 16 and Auburn is not.
Hold on. No. I think you're wrong, Biscuit. I think Auburn, they haven't lost yet, have they? Have they lost?
Well, I didn't watch them, but maybe they did.
I mean.
So let me pull that up on my phone.
Yeah, I'm looking real quick because I know that there's no way they're not in the Sweet 16.
Oh, no. They got beat by
Hold
Ivy
on.
League
You
team,
mean the most electric fan base in the entire country?
They got beat by the Ivy League team.
In a reading contest?
No. In basketball.
No.
Can you believe that?
Hard
Can you
to
believe the almighty Auburn Tigers got beat by Yale? Wow. Yale?
Who
got beat by 40 their next game?
Bless their heart. Bless their heart.
Okay, Ryan, let's get on a different subject.
Okay.
Real quick. We'll jump back and forth here.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Got plenty to talk about.
Free for All Mondays, sponsored by Brian Harden. What day is today? I'm retired. I don't even know what day it is.
It is Monday. Free for All Friday or Free for All Monday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction.
Hey. So, there's two things I want you to define for me. What is a foul in basketball?
That might have been a better question for Nate Oates.
Well, he's probably thinking a lot along the lines like I am. So at one point in the game...
Well, I think he disagreed with it. That's probably why he got teed up.
I was so happy when he got teed. My wife said,
I think we all were.
My wife said, what do you have? I said, because he got teed. That's exactly what I'd have done. I did the exact same thing. Because at one point, they had shot 32 free throws, and they had made 11 fouls. 32-11. That's with 8 minutes going in the game. It ain't like it was. I don't get it. If 4 people hit the ground, got to be a foul somewhere. 3 of the players were out. I don't get it.
Well, that was pretty physical. And they let them to let them play might be an understatement.
They let them play.
Let them play. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they didn't let us play. The next thing I want you to define for me is we've talked about this on your program, how the game of football has come sissified, and I'm going to use that word instead of the other, has become sissified. So now we can't have a hip tap. Somebody tell me what that is. What's a hip tap?
I saw Kenyon Drake a couple of minutes ago sharing some photos. It'd be kind of hard to illustrate, on the radio, but basically you put your weight. He said he had 2 season-ending injuries because of that tackle. So I guess if you talk to a running back, they love it. If you talk to a linebacker, they'd be like, no, thank you.
Well, I just don't. I don't know what you're going to do on defense anymore. This is becoming a joke.
But think about the limitation of hitting a quarterback. There's only a small window.
You can't even touch him now. Where are you going to hit him? If you hit him high, it's a penalty. If you hit him low, it's a penalty. If you hit him and then land on him, it's a penalty. How are you supposed to defend a quarterback that you can't touch?
And what Biscuit's talking about, the NFL came out with a rule now that they're limited.
I'm sorry.
For those who may or may not know, it's the approval ban of a swivel hip drop tackle.
Yeah.
So I know you're on. Are you on Twitter, Biscuit?
Oh well, I guess you can't throw your hip into somebody. Yeah, I know that song. Twiddly-dee, twiddly-twiddly-dee, twiddly-dom.
Well, it's similar. It's kind of like Coach Saban. He's still working on it. You are too.
In the treetop all night long, twiddly-dee, twiddly-twiddly-dee.
Well,
that close enough for you?
Well, close, yes. Kenyon put up some video and kind of showed you examples. So anyway, but it.
So did you see the stats on it though? Have you seen the stats they put out?
I did not.
In the last 2 years, there's been over 20,000 tackles in football in the NFL.
Okay.
20,000. You know how many? They went back and reviewed film. Do you know how many of these hits there were total?
I don't have a clue.
150. I think it was 151 if you want to be exact.
How many of those were injuries?
151 out of 20,000. I hadn't seen that stat. Maybe it was 10. I don't know, but I don't know how you're going to tackle. How you going to tackle Derrick Henry? Well, he's going to tackle Najee Harris.
I'm going to read you what Kenyon, because I just now found it.
Okay.
He says, I don't care about popular opinion. I lost my right ankle in a quarter of the 2021 season to this type of tackle. Something had to give, and I'm not sure. I'm glad it's not anybody's legs, ankles anymore. And so he shows a graphic here where he shares the graphic. So I guess it's a hip injury, and then is it a strategy? It looks like, based on this video, and I'm not saying every one of those 150 were, but sometimes you just got to grab the guy where you can grab him. But
there ain't nowhere to grab. There's nowhere left to grab him. And look, I love Kenyon Drake.
Me too.
I mean, Alabama man, great person. I love it. But you're playing football, dude. You got to get tackled somehow. I mean, I'm against season-ending injuries also, but you got to give them some way to get you on the ground. You weigh 212, 220, 230. You run a 4.240, and your cornerback weighs 195. Runs about a 5.
He's got to make a business decision.
So, yeah, I mean, he wants to make a living just like you do running the football. So, but I mean, to me, once again, we're changing the game of football where you can't hit anything. I don't. You know, we already have changed it so much now. It's not even tackle football. It's just football. But anyway, I just wondered. Anyway, so what do you think? Alabama and North Carolina.
Well, I mean, I just looked at the line. You know, this line has moved down to 3.5 points. It opened up at 4.5. I saw it at 4 just about an hour ago. Now I see it at one spot at 3.5.
Huh.
So maybe Vegas believes in Nate Oates and the Alabama basketball program.
Well, you have a morning show host on your show from 7 to 9 who actually used to coach at the University of Alabama. Said he doesn't think North Carolina can beat Alabama.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I respect his knowledge.
Yeah, he said if Alabama plays a good basketball game, North Carolina can't beat it. So, I've been up to my mom today helping her move a washer and dryer. But anyway, that's why I was listening that early and being retired. But so when I heard that, I went, oh, man, well, look, he ain't just saying that, you know, because he'll tell you straight up, you know, who he thinks is going to win or lose. He don't care what the name on the jersey is. I mean, he said we were going to lose when we went to play Purdue, and we did. So
he's always got his finger on the pulse. I mean, he does. I mean, he told us that coach.
But when I did feel better when he said that. And I'll tell you this, there's not many people in our group. We have a small group of people that pick the brackets, 19 or 20 of us. And I am the only one that put Alabama in the Sweet 16. You believe that?
Wow.
And look.
But to be fair, the last couple of weeks was not good.
I put them in the Elite Eight. And that's one of the reasons I picked them. Because it was time for them to have a game like they had. The Charleston, they could have beat Charleston 140-75 if they wanted to. Which shows you some class. And, you know, even when they started, you know, you would think you're behind by 38 points that the other team's coach pulls out, puts some players in that being in the NCAA tournament, you might put some of your players that ain't played all year in there too. But he didn't do that. He kept his top 5 in there, and they kept running up down the court trying to score as many as they could, and they did.
I got to get to this break real quick.
I know, man. Look, it's always great to talk to you, man. I just wanted your opinion on the new football and what if I can't find anybody that can tell me what a foul is.
I'll study up on it and see if I can get back with you.
Well, we do, because I seen one time like we was just dribbling down the ball dribbling down the court, and Sears put his hand on the guy's shoulder, and they called a foul on him.
And that's where we're at. Hey, Biscuit, I got to get to this top of the hour. I'm 2 minutes over. Appreciate you, man, as always. We're right here at the top of the hour. We'll talk to Martin Houston coming up next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
NFL owners' meetings continue in Florida, and today some changes were made to the rules in 2024. Hip drop tackles have now been banned in the NFL. Coaches will now be awarded a third challenge if one of their challenges is successful, and the replay assistant will be allowed to make corrections on incorrect calls for roughing the passer and intentional grounding. The Packers and quarterback Jordan Love have had talks on a contract extension. That's according to GM Brian Gutekunst. Women's NCAA tournament, number 2 Notre Dame in Regional 1, top 7th seeded Ole Miss 71-56. Right now at Regional 4, 3rd seed NC State trails 6th seeded Tennessee 23-19 late in the first quarter. Vanderbilt is hiring James Madison men's basketball coach Mark By.
Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Rumsey Environmental, serving the sound of my voice with waste removal services, portable toilet services, construction debris removal containers customized to fit your job site. Maybe it's remodeling. Maybe it's the storage containers. We did this about a year ago, moved all of our furniture into a storage container, brought out the construction debris removal containers. They customize to fit your job site. When you talk about when you have to know it's being done right, that's the time to call Rumsey Environmental, 205-248-0000.
Online at Dell.com/deals. You'll have access to leading edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Tuscaloosa Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We are rolling on towards 6 o'clock. We'll hand off to Hey Coach. I'm sure there'll be a lot of that portion of that show that will focus on Alabama basketball, as we will in the final 2 hours. We'll take phone calls. Roy in Kansas, hang with us for just a couple of minutes. Tommy, we'll get to you as well. Let's go to Martin Houston, who leads us out of the gate every morning, 6 a.m. right here on Tide 100.9. Hey, Martin, I hope all is well. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
All is well, man. Glad to be in with you, Ron.
Martin, it's a big day for Alabama basketball. The celebration, Sweet 16 time here in Tuscaloosa.
What happened?
Auburn lost.
That's pretty good. Oh man,
we're having a celebration. I mean, the audience has informed me that the Tigers got beat.
Have you seen the saying? Oh yeah.
We have way too much fun. Aggravating. Martin, did you have a younger brother?
No,
Okay.
I did not.
Were you the younger brother?
I was the younger brother.
Okay, so
yes.
So you kind of got picked on a little bit, maybe a little bit. No,
I did, Ryan. I used to. Now I was always the bigger, for the majority of my life, but there was many mornings that I would get up and go out to the bus stop when Mom left to go to work, and she left usually an hour before the bus would come, just so my brother wouldn't beat me up.
Okay.
So when Mom was around, I could take him.
But see, you got to look at it a positive way. That it may have made you who you are.
She would stop
toughen
it.
you up a little bit.
She would stop it. Yeah, no, she would stop it before I could whoop him in the beginning. I was bigger than him. He's in better shape than I was, and he was meaner than I was. So I'd get him in the beginning, but I just didn't want to keep fighting, and he would fight till he'd be like the old pit bull. You gonna die, I'm gonna die. So
well, see, we picked on our younger brother, and I don't know if it's been a long time since biology class, but there was adaptation. He gave. I mean, he's bigger than all of us. Like the three olders, we're like 5'8", 5'9". I mean, you might stretch us out, and we might get to 5'10". He's like 6'3". So I don't know what happened. I'd love to see some genetics. I don't know if. But all of us are like 5'8", 5'9", and he's 6'3". So we either developed into him and toughed him up a little bit, but yeah.
I have my oldest brother. We're about the same height. He weighed like 160, maybe soaking wet. And my sister's not 5 foot. One of my sisters is not 5 foot tall. And then there's me. So I don't know what it is about that younger brother. I guess we just get all the size. You look at Simeon and Xavier. So.
Well, let's go back to Alabama. Big takeaways from Alabama's win over Grand Canyon last night.
Well, first of all, Ryan, I guess you kind of got to take it as a whole composite weekend.
Sure.
Last night, was just a physical, to me, poorly officiated game, but I think that game was important for Alabama. If Alabama's going to beat a UNC or anybody else that's in this tournament, they're going to have to, make it ugly and win an ugly game. Alabama hadn't been able to do that. We won a lot of beauty contests as a whole, but last night we showed that we had a lot more fight in us than I thought we did. And to come off of that type of game, to play that type of game after coming off a game where you literally, Alabama scored more points than they ever have in, tournament play. And with 7 minutes to go, Ryan, they had set that mark. They could have gotten 130 or whatever. And so, just the opposite sides of the coins of those two games, in the way they played showed a lot of heart. And to me, it shows just how good a coach Nate Oates is. There was a lot of people, concerned about Alabama going into the tournament. And I said, guys, I think right tail was the X factor. And one of the coaches on the staff actually said that. And I said, if he's back healthy, this team is a different team. And we saw that this weekend.
What do you think this team needs to do, in your opinion, to beat UNC?
Well, I think they have to play their game on the offensive side of the ball, meaning, that we're going to have an opportunity, I think, to score the ball. They're not going to, I don't think they're going to do us the way Grand Canyon did. I think they'll be somewhere similar to Charleston in the sense that they want to run, they want to get out, they want to get some shots up, and then they'll try to work it down inside. So from an offensive standpoint, we need to play our game. We need the threes to be falling. We need, spread them out, drive and kick. On the defensive end, Ryan, we have got to show up big. To me, Grant Nelson is an X factor. He's going to have to figure out how to, control, slow down. I don't think he stopped Bacardi, their big man. But I think, if he's in the stat line with him, then he can neutralize his play both through his defense and through the way he plays offense. then I think you're going to find, I think last night at one point, I don't know if it ended up 18-0, but at one point our bench had 18, their bench had 0. I think we'll have to have really, really good bench play. The other guys, will have to do what they do. But to me, Grant Nelson and the bench, that's not the, I know everybody else is going to say, hey, they need to rebound, and that, yeah, they have to do those things. But I think those are the X factors.
Well, and you think about this Alabama team, and we were asking Nate Oates earlier if he had stopped and reflected on what he's been able to accomplish. And he said, no, it's all, right ahead. I get all that. But, you do think about 30% of the Sweet 16 appearances have come in his time in Tuscaloosa. That's remarkable. And really, if you throw out the COVID year, it's in 4 years, not in 5.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you, like you said, you take that out when he's had the ability to coach and play and do without some outside force, he has been extremely successful. 2 regular season championships, 2 SEC tournament championships, 2 back-to-back Sweet 16s. And as I told you off air, Ryan, just let this sink in, Alabama basketball fan, especially for all of those who are listening that may have a lot of negative to say about what this team can't do and hadn't done and all that. This is the first time we've been to back-to-back Sweet 16, Ryan. The last time we did this, I was a college student. I'm now the grandfather of 3 kids. Gotta let that sink in.
Wow. So, I mean, it is. And to think about where he took over the program. I mean, to where it was at and where it is now, that's a credit to Greg Byrne, too.
Yeah, you remember when he first started, Ryan, you and I said, in numerous conversations, man, he's kind of tracking with Saban, on what he's doing. He's kind of tracking and in Saban's first few years. And for, to me, to get to that, Mount Rushmore, to be the cornerstone of the Mount Rushmore, I think he's already on the Mount Rushmore of Alabama coaches in 5 years. But he has to get us to a place we hadn't been to but once, and maybe to a place that he hadn't got to, that we haven't got to ever in program history, to ultimately stand alone. But, man, he's well on his way to doing that. You take Brian, he lost all 3 of his coaches. He lost 75 to 80% of his roster. And the only time this team looked really bad was when they lost down the stretch, to me. Even when they lost early in the year, they didn't look bad. They looked bad down the stretch, but I think that's matchup basketball. I think that's what happens. And he didn't have his full complement of players, guys out injured and hurt and all that. The guy, like his style, like his personality, whatever you want to call it, he finds a way to win. To me, nobody's talking about this, right? He's winning and got us to the Sweet 16. And one of the cornerstones of Nate Oates' team is defense. And he's doing it with straight up offense and doing it at a record-setting pace while he's setting record after record. Fastest coach to 100 wins. First coach to get back to back in whatever time, 10 100, point games, Mark Sears, a guy coming off of, you just had, the second overall player drafted. This kid comes back the next year and 8 straight, 20-plus point games, 16 out of 17. It's just crazy what he's been able to do as a coach. And kudos to not just him, Ryan, but kudos to all of that new coaching staff who had to gel his chemistry and then gel and bring chemistry to the team.
Wow, that's another great thought. But you look at Nate Oates, you think about this energy around this basket program. Not saying it's an all-time high because, you remember, the Wimp Sanderson days. But it's as he said, we got to get to a Final Four. I mean, it was his words. We've got to get to a Final Four. Well, there's a tough path because you're probably going to have to go through UNC, which we know that, and then you're probably going to have to go through Arizona if they beat Clemson. So you got to go through a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, and it's a tough path, but that's the level that we're wanting to play, and that's the level that he wants to play at. And so, is this your year to do it? I don't know, but you can't dance unless you're at the party, and they're still at the party. So, as long as they're still at the party, there's a chance that they can do something, really special.
I know we mentioned this before, but Auburn's not playing, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, Ryan, I have some people that follow me on Facebook. One guy, he's talking about how great Bruce Pearl was, and that Bruce Pearl greater than, Nate Oates and all that stuff. And
at Eating? At Eating?
I don't know. I mean, he was just.
I mean, I didn't know what he was talking about. Maybe eating, or I'm trying to think of what Bruce Pearl might be better. Cheating and eating. He's got that. Cheating and eating.
It's too funny, man. But I told him, he was talking about dogging the team and how the season was going to be over, and he can't wait, and that this is the last time he's going to get to watch them. I told him, I said, you can turn your TV off. It's not mandatory.
That's right.
But
swimming season.
But Ryan, but think about this. Think about how far Nate Oates, to your point, has brought basketball.
Sure.
And you're on the phone with a football guy. I love basketball, but it's spring practice, man. We have a new coach who is eating it up on a recruiting trail. I'm talking about, like, right now, recruiting at the level that Saban started off at. I mean, Saban got a couple of big names that really took him over the top. But when he first stepped foot on campus, and of course, the board came in at a different time, and we're talking basketball, and your audience is still out there listening. And we've talked basketball in the past, but we may have lost some audience.
Sure. Well, and a lot of people tried to force it. And we just try to, hey, if they want to talk bowling, we can talk bowling. We can throw some strikes around here from time to time. So, Martin, let me ask you from a football perspective. We just had a phone call a couple of minutes ago from Biscuit Bruce, and I thought maybe this might be a good kind of segue into football, and I'm going to ask you about spring football as well. But NFL owners approve a ban on swivel hop drop tackling technique. As a former back, any thoughts here? Because it seems like offensive guys. The NFL owners have approved a rule proposal banning the swivel hip drop tackle. I had to look it up, Martin. I can't even really describe it, but I guess it's a hip tackle. But Jackson, if you got more to it,
they swirl the body around and then they drop down, and it can mess up.
And it kind of twists your ankles. Yes.
It's usually from behind as well.
Yeah,
that's what the real argument is.
Here it is. The tackling technique often results in lower body injury. The rule requires officials to note two actions. If a defender grabs the runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms and also unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips into a lower body landing and trapping the runner's legs or below the knee.
You asked me what I think.
Yes.
I think there's a bunch of pansies that have made enough money to own NFL teams. I mean, I don't even know what to say, Brian. I mean, I feel sorry for a defensive player. I mean,
how do you tackle?
You can only aim, but they are going to absolutely. There's going to be so many knee injuries, I think, coming because I mean the poor defenders. If you're coming from somebody from behind, Ryan. If I'm coming up from you from behind, if I grab you and we're both going in the same direction, which direction do you go?
Sure. Yeah.
If I'm running the ball and you hit me from behind, Ryan, and you don't drop your weight, you know what I'm
yeah,
do?
I mean, the law of physics is not on your side, right? I mean,
I'm just gonna keep running because you hit me forward. You hit me from behind. Do you realize how fast and how much stronger you have to be? Because what they're saying is, if you grab me from behind, right, and I'm running, well, first of all, how do you grab me from behind? If you put your face directly in my back, then your arms won't get around me unless you're right up on me. Okay? So most of the time when this is happening, the guy is coming up from behind and either about to leave his feet or whatever. And the only way to not go to the side, left or right, is if you run directly from behind. If you're running down the field and you come at a side angle and grab me, you're going to be behind. You're going to be your momentum is going to be going across my body. So when you grab me, you're going to swip around and naturally your hips are going to drop. If you come up from behind me and try to tackle me that way, and you're worried about being able to tackle me without, pulling me back, your natural motion to pull somebody backwards is going to cause your hips to drop. That makes sense?
Yeah, sure, it does.
I mean, there is no way to tackle from behind without that. This may be a harder rule, harder tackle for the defenders than above the head. I mean, this may be even harder because you're telling the guy to run, stop a guy that's, can you see a guy? Baltimore wins the championship. I'll just call it. Derrick Henry running the ball, and some guy's trying to position whether he can grab him from behind and not go to the ground. What is he going to do? Jump on his back? What other way can a DB tackle Derrick Henry from behind?
Well, I mean, it's almost the same with a quarterback. I mean, look at the target spot of a quarterback.
Oh, you can't touch them.
Yeah, they might as well put flags on them and just put them in a dress.
I mean, who thought this was a good rule? Good gracious. Wow.
Martin, your big takeaway from spring football, and then we'll let you get out of here, man. Spring football seems to be a lot of buzz in Tuscaloosa, and they're only going to practice twice this week, but then they'll come back next week and do a big day because it'll be the coaches' clinic. So you've got Tuesday, Thursday practice this week, and then next week you've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then that next week will be Tuesday, Thursday, A-days. So 6 practices in. Any big takeaway?
Just loving the atmosphere and the culture that he's creating. Got a chance to go by and ran into a couple guys. They all seem to be fully engaged, Ryan, and you've had Coach DeBoer on, and my biggest takeaway is he's his own man and he's doing it his way, but he's honoring how it's been done and building on it. From a pure player standpoint, it's exciting to see the competition, the growth, the development. The thing that I think we've missed the last few years, Ryan, it's felt like a guy came in and got better. And we haven't seen it manifest in itself, but we're hearing about guys like, Kane Colt, Quay Russaw, guys who in the past, if they didn't get on the field in their first year or so, you didn't ever hear anything else from them. The guy came in really good, and he got on the field, and he would be the player. That's what's happened the last few years here, and so it's good to hear that guys that we thought we may have written off, but they've stuck with it. Sounds like they've grown a lot in this off season, and they're doing a lot of good things on the field. So excited about every aspect of what he's doing so far. To me, every opportunity he's had, he's passed it with flying colors. Ultimately, it won't matter if we don't get the W's, but right now he's winning in every aspect of what he's been asked to do. And I'm really excited about Alabama football.
Martin Houston every morning, 6 a.m. Also find him on the Facebook side of things. Find him on Twitter. Connect with him where you get your information, and right here on Tide 100.9. Martin, I appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate you, Ryan. Roll Tide, man.
Right back to you. Martin Houston, let's continue with more phone calls. Roy in Kansas. First up, Tommy and Romulus, Jared in Dallas. All next, T-Town, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A woman is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Tuscaloosa on Monday morning. Details are sparse, but Jack Kennedy, the commander of the multi-agency Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit, said police are at Aspen Village Apartments where one female subject is deceased. In addition, a Hoover woman was killed Sunday night in a head-on collision on the interstate in Tuscaloosa. Also, the Town Square Media Weather Center is monitoring a weather system that could travel across the state of Alabama, bringing concerns of strong storms, windy conditions, and heavy rainfall to the area. You can read about these stories and more at the TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, hello and happy Monday to you. Got some construction zones that are definitely slowing you down heavily on 2059 eastbound at Northport Tuscaloosa bypass. This is going to knock out that left lane, so go ahead and make your way on over to the right lane to get by. Otherwise, not doing too bad.
Or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Don Wallace CPA, 527 Main Avenue in downtown Northport. Small business and personal income taxes, payroll, sales tax needs. They can also help you with nonprofit or church accounting or auditing. In business since 1999, they work for you, not the IRS. When you take on taxes, you got to have someone on your side. It's Don Wallace.
Code 800 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com. Code 800.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight, below 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day, becoming partly sunny, the high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 69 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Light up those phone lines on The Game with Ryan Fowler. 205-342-9904. You're inside the game on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. 4th and 31. Gravedigger available. The legacy continues the next 30 years. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. Alabama's back out on the practice field tomorrow. Alabama basketball has been the topic of conversation. We have really, wow. I mean, a lot of things to explore. A lot of things to celebrate. We're free the rest of the day. If you want to jump in, 205-342-9904. We asked Nate Oates earlier. He led off the show right at 2 o'clock. And we even did an intro. And then we played a little Toby Mac to celebrate him. It's his favorite group. And we learned that last week. And I guess he can, unlike Kalen DeBoer, he confirmed that Toby Mac, right? I mean, he confirmed.
He confirmed it, and you could tell he was kind of like, oh my God, stop! You shouldn't have.
He even went a little bit. What do you say? I don't know another word, but he kind of went fanboy on us a little bit too. Did you see him? He said I was on a group message with somebody.
Yeah, talking about how he's in a text chain and everything.
Yeah, I mean, so I was going to tell him. I think I told you this last week. I saw Toby Mac on campus. This was it's probably about 25 years ago. And the Bryant Conference Center. But here we go. This is Nate Oates talking about the defensive effort of last night's game. Coach, other than effort, what was the biggest difference when you look at, not being very pleased, in your words, with the defense and where you guys have been able to make in the first 2 games of the NCAA tournament? What's been the biggest difference other than effort?
Effort was the biggest thing, but I also think there's been a little bit better attention to detail. And when you play hard, you move your feet better, you keep the ball out of the lane. Like, I didn't think we gave up many blow-bys. They weren't just getting by us, getting to the rim. We've people have made a big deal out of our lack of rim protection, and it hasn't been great, but you don't need that much rim protection if your guards sit down, move their feet, and stay in front of the ball. And I thought we did that a lot better, and we did have some better rim protection. So a combination of both. We contested threes hard. They only hit 2. I think they were 2 of 20 for 10%. So I just, effort changes a lot of things. We didn't give up very many blow-bys. We contested threes a lot harder. When we did get beat, we contested at the rim, made some better plays. Somebody sent me something. In the last week, our defense has been 38th best defense in the country, top 40. They kind of compare. So I told our guys, we got the number 1 offense in the country and a top 30 or 40 defense. You can make a Final Four run. So we've been top 40. And to be honest with you, that's with the major collapse after we got the 31-point lead against Charleston. If we just stayed locked in for the full 40, told our guys we might have a top 20 defense right now, as hard as we played for, 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes against Charleston, and really for the full 40 against Grand Canyon. So we're going to need it for the full 40 against Carolina, though, for sure.
And there it is, Coach Nate Oates. If you missed that interview, Tide109.com. Tommy, I'm going to get you on the other side of the break. Roy in Kansas, sorry we couldn't get to you there, but if you want to jump back in, we'll put you back in line. Jared in Dallas, Texas, we'll get to you as well.
Find a store or switch suavemente at TotalByVerizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Eat Southern, be Southern. All the biscuit sandwiches, the great Southern cuisine like the bacon wrapped meatloaf, the fish and taters. All the great sandwiches like the Yardbird, the great salads, the daily lunch and dinner specials Monday through Saturday at Southern Ale House. We've also opened up an additional part of Southern Ale House and expanded with our catering needs there to fulfill what you're looking for. 205-248-7500. Ask for.
When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Alabama fans are all over the world, and we are too. Download the Tide 100.9 app right now in the App Store and Google Play, and take the Crimson Tide everywhere you go.
Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my.
I do remind you about the Wharf. If you're looking for a new pair of boots, Justin, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Georgia, Double H, Timberline, Laredo, and many more. It's the Wharf located on McFarland Boulevard between Winn-Dixie and the Blue Plate. You will find our good folks right there. Since 1976, a long-standing tradition here in West Alabama. It is the Wharf. Since 1976, the working Western headquarters for the entire family. Let's continue, and let's go to Tommy and Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you, Ron?
I'm good, man. Just a good day.
It is a very good day. Basketball team in the Sweet 16. Gymnastics team finished second in the SEC. Softball split. Baseball got hammered. So besides that, it's still a good day.
It was a good weekend. And the ladies, you mentioned women's basketball, making it into the round of 32 is, I know it's not what they wanted, but at the end of the day, it's a good step in the right direction.
Well, we made it 3 years in a row. I don't know how many years Christy Curry, this is her 11th or 12th. I forgot. I can't keep count. But when she came in here, this program was at rock bottom. And now I think she's starting to win back some players in the state of Alabama, the top women athletes in basketball, staying home and coming to Alabama now.
Well, I think that's also a credit to, when you look at these coaches, whether it's Nate Oates, whether it's Kalen DeBoer, but, there was a lot of pressure there for Christy Curry to do something that felt like the program was a little stagnant. But Greg Byrne kind of was patient.
Well, yeah, a lot of people thought, but Ron, it was just a mess. We left more Coliseum, and I ain't going to go to other stuff, and we got put in Foster's, and that was just really a slap. It didn't seem like we were treating the women program equal as you was men, and that hurt recruiting. And I mean, she had her work cut out. It would be great if she could get us to a Final Four. She could get some kind of reward, but man, she have done a great job. I know some people still fight. Like, she's been there 12 years. She should have done better. No, this program, nobody wanted to come to play basketball at the University of Alabama women. No state, because Ashley Barker left, went over to Georgia, come back 2 years later. We have got ladies come back from NC State. Florida State was Miss Basketball in Alabama. They came back and played the last 2 years. I mean, I think now she's going to get some girls. I think the junior class coming up, I think she already got 2 of the top commitment. I could be wrong. Things are looking up. I mean, they stay the course. I know it's been some tough times, and you hate to see them get beat by 40 or 45 points by South Carolina, but hey, North Carolina got beat by them yesterday by 40, so it's no disgrace to lose to South Carolina like that, because SEC is pretty tough. I mean.
Well, Tommy, did you watch the Alabama basketball game last night?
Yes. I'm like with Biscuit Bruce. I mean, when we made that last dunk, and they didn't call a foul, and I'm like, the guy is on his back. He should be shooting +1 on that. That was a 3-point play. And they look like, well, ain't nothing much happened here. He just dunked the ball. And the guy's hanging on his back. Yeah, I watched the game. And looked like the former coach of Vanderbilt went back to his dumb ways. I'm like, I've never seen a team or that player just didn't listen, took over, tried to beat Alabama by itself. Looked like there was 5 individuals all playing by themselves that wasn't playing the team. And Alabama hung tough. Grant Nelson did a good job. He's not scoring much point, but he made some good defensive plays. I'm real happy, and I'm still pulling for Marty to win it all, to cut the net down. So I'm pulling for you, Marty, in Arkansas.
So Marty in Arkansas, okay. All right. And then, now who did Jumbo take again?
Yale.
I love taking the shots at these Auburn Tigers.
Yale, I think he took Yale, didn't he?
He did.
Okay.
No one would ever take Auburn.
Nobody. Not even Jumbo. Not even Jumbo would be able to take Auburn.
He took Yale. Well, Yale didn't look so hot last night, but good for Yale. I mean,
It was a reading competition. Auburn didn't make it.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would lose the woke competition against the Ivy League too, but we won't go there.
You said a woke competition?
Yeah, Auburn would lose to Yale on that.
Are they woke?
I think all Ivy League schools about you woke or yoked or nuts. I mean, what else can you say?
But I mean, you were an Ivy League guy, were you not?
Yeah. I went. Yeah. I mean, Princeton. Yeah, we know how to play about. Yeah. If you really believe in crowd, yeah, West Princeton. I went to.
University of West Princeton. Okay, that's a little different than the real one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we take pride in being the West Princeton. So yeah. But
what else is on your mind, Tommy?
Well, we got the coach signed well, looking good. I mean, I'm just kind of looking forward to the 8A game. I mean, looking forward to that.
Now, will you be there for the 8A game?
I already told you 3 times. You don't listen to me.
Hold on. I'm going to look up softball. Softball must be playing on the road, because I don't think you'd be.
No, they're playing at 11 o'clock that morning. Thank you very much. They're playing Texas A&M. Don't try to trick me. Tony and them made me slip up. They keep on yelling turnover, turnover. They got me saying turnover instead of error. You're not going to do it, Ryan Fowler.
I just looked it up. Looks like
they're playing A&M here.
Yeah, they've adjusted that schedule.
11 o'clock.
No, they've moved it back a couple of hours.
So they're going to be playing at 9:30?
No, it says 1:30. Yep. So you're going to have... No, I'm looking at it right now on the schedule.
Well, Little Birdie been telling me it's going to go to 11.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what if it is at 1:30? That'd force you to make a decision. Which one would you go?
Oh, I'm going to send the new coach. I mean, I can watch 40 minutes of softball. I mean,
something tells me you're going to have to get there early if you want a seat inside Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, I can walk around. They'll be standing about. I've never seen them shut the gate yet, but it'd be nice.
They did in 2007 when Nick Saban arrived here. They locked the gates.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, that's fine.
So, Patrick Murphy, if he's listening, Coach, don't take this offensive to Tommy and Romulus, one of the longtime supporters of Alabama softball.
You need to get the game at 11.
But he's not going to be there if it's during Alabama football. He's going to A-Day.
Yeah.
Just want him to hear that. Just want him to hear that from his biggest fan.
Well, I thought Corey was his biggest fan.
No, you are.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, Corey only calls us like once a week.
Well, I mean, at least I get credit for something good. I mean, thank you, Ron Fowler. I appreciate that.
As long as you don't do a hip tackle and get a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When it goes to 7-man football and they all wearing tutus, I'm not going to watch them play. I'm not even going to watch them on TV.
That'll get me start watching.
Good for you, Noah. Good for you, Noah.
Hey, maybe we could put never mind. I was fixing to say something.
Yeah, let's don't go down that rabbit hole. No. I'm like, this is what I don't understand about the whole situation. We're worried about the safety of the players, the concern. What a bunch of crap, okay? And they're adding more games to the schedule. And the guys can't practice. They can't get proper coaching. So, therefore, it sounds like to me they're going to be playing longer schedules, not getting the practice time, not going to be in shape. They're going to cause more injuries.
I think Martin said that a couple of seconds ago. It will.
Yes.
But
yeah,
it's all about a courtroom. It's not a protection for a player. It's a protection in a courtroom. It's kind of like this concussion situation where they're trying to address a lot of these different things. They don't want to do nothing. Nothing is not acceptable.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm finding out now in women's soccer, women who play soccer for 20 years and play in the 40s or early 50s are having the same problem the men in the NFL. You know, with dementia, cognitive thinking, motor skills. I'm like, are we going to put helmet on soccer players? Are we going to outlaw you using your head for the soccer ball?
You know, somebody showed me a stat a couple of years ago where cheerleading is one of the top sports as far as concussions.
Well, yeah, when you jump and fall and your neck flip back, you get whiplash. Yeah. It's really, are we just going to sit there and go, 2-bit, 4-bit, 6 of it's $1, all want to be safe, stand up and holler. That's how silly everything is.
Holla.
Hey, that's not AC in Bangladesh. Holla.
Holla.
I don't think cheerleaders make lots of money, though.
Noah, you need to get on the internet and find out what that means. You better have that answer by tomorrow.
I live down in the holla out in Coker, down in the holla.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, we be between them hollers, Yeah, me and my neighbor. There's a holler to the right, there's a holler to the left. But I'm between them. You understand what I'm talking about now?
I do.
You're from North Alabama. You should.
I am. Tommy, be good, man. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
We'll go to Jared in Dallas in 2 minutes. T-Town Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, don't you just love it when we have that oh-so-glorious road construction right in the middle of your rush to home? So that is the situation on 2059 eastbound at Northport Tuscaloosa bypass. So go ahead and make your way on over to the right lane because that left lane is the one that is closed.
And rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Nuke's Eatery right there on University Boulevard, 205 University Boulevard. Call ahead orders 205-758-2455. We always like to say close enough that you can smell the championships. It used to be the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama. Now the campus has built around them. When you're talking about a great sandwich like the Nuke's Q sandwich or maybe a great salad, that macaroni and cheese is outstanding. The bowl of soup, a cup of soup, as we lower temps here in West Alabama, you can parlay those and you can pick a pair. Maybe it's a California-style pizza. Maybe it's the great chicken salad, the pimento cheese. Catering from a small office party to a larger corporate event.
Every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight. The low 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day. Becoming partly sunny. The high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 69 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's the longest running sports show in Tuscaloosa. You're listening to The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9.
Jared in Dallas after the top of the hour break. But let me also recognize real quick, just someone from local standpoint. I know we don't talk a lot about this, but anybody that's lived in the great state of Alabama, you've had a fishing pole in your hand. Justin Hamner from right there in Northport, Alabama, won the entire Bassmaster Classic over the weekend. So congratulations to him. When you look at, right here from Northport, Alabama. It's always good to see. Always good to see. So congratulations to him and his family from right here in Northport, Alabama, for winning it all. Winning it all. All we do is win, 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 win. I mean, that's all we do is win. I mean, it's just something about this city, something about this town, something about this community. Justin Hamner winning the Bassmaster Classic. Congratulations to you from right there in Northport, Alabama. It's always good to see us on the national level. We'll continue with more of The Game. T-Town Tide 100.9 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Coming up next on the Stingray Show.
Is John Calipari still the coach when basketball season returns later this year in November at Kentucky?
I think the wheels are in motion for John Calipari to move on from Kentucky. They gave him a lot of rope and he hasn't taken advantage of it. And now I think it's best for everybody, for the fan base, for the folks that work within the school. It's going to be a rebuild no matter what.
At PearlRiverResort.com. Brian McKnight
4. Over 60 years of serving Tuscaloosa and West Alabama. When you talk about the friendly staff at Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets, 1010 Queen City Avenue, when you look at the fall floral arrangements, maybe you're trying to lift someone's spirits a little bit under the weather, celebrating a birthday or special occasion, it's Pat's Florist.
Can go from here to possible.
Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
NFL owners meetings rolling on and a few rule changes in the NFL. Hip drop tackles have been banned and coaches will now be awarded a third challenge if one of their challenges is successful. Should also be noted the replay assistant will be allowed to make corrections on incorrect calls for roughing the passer and intentional grounding. Browns are giving head coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry contract extensions. That was the message from Browns ownership earlier today. Well, the Packers and quarterback Jordan Love have had talks on a contract extension, according to GM Brian Gutekunst. In the NCAA women's tournament, number 2 Notre Dame topped Ole Miss today 71-56 as the Fighting Irish are off to the Sweet 16. In the men's game, Vanderbilt is hiring Mark Byington to be the Commodores' new head coach. He comes over from James Madison. Washington has hired Utah State's Danny Sprinkle. Stanford hired Washington State's Kyle Smith. In the NBA, the Clippers list Russell Westbrook as questionable tonight against Indiana.
Rolling down a backwoods Tennessee byway, one arm on the wheel, holding my lover with the other, a sweet soft southern thrill. Worked hard all week, got a little jingle on a Tennessee Saturday night. Couldn't feel better, I'm together with my Dixieland tonight. Spend my dollar, park in a holler neath the mountain moonlight. Hold her up tight, make a little loving, a little turning oven on a Mason-Dixon night. It's my life. Oh, so right.
All right, let's count them together. You guys ready? 18 national titles, 30 SEC titles, 147 first-team All-Americans, 77 postseason appearances, 45 postseason victories, 4 Heisman winners, the NCAA all-time scoring leader, and the greatest football coaches to ever walk the sidelines. We're talking little Alabama basketball today, little Alabama football. We are now, 19 days away, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union, alabamacu.com, checking, savings, mortgage, home equity, loan, financing a vehicle, alabamacu.com. We had Nate Oates on earlier. Had a chance to visit about the Sweet 16. They were boarding a plane and headed for L.A. Noah, he was so excited to be on the game, he got a little choked up. If you didn't hear that, you can go back and listen, Tide109.com. But we call that a radio tease, by the way. It's podcasted at Tide 100.9. Noah always gets choked up when he gets on the game. I mean, it's Jackson last week, I asked him a question. No, it was not Jackson. It was Brody. I'm sorry. It was Brody. Brody got so choked up, he couldn't even talk. I mean, I was welcoming Brody into the game, and it was bam. Here we go. Let's go to Jared in Dallas, Texas, powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. Hey, Jared, good afternoon. You're in the game.
I'm all choked up now, too, man.
I mean, it's just a humbling experience. I mean, forget about the Sweet 16. I mean, just to be on the game. I mean, it's just part of it.
I know. It's an intimidating environment sometimes,
It can be.
Especially when you got quote of the, Biscuit Bruce, man, he's so great. He's got quote of the day so far.
What was his quote?
If 4 people hit the floor, his quote was, if 4 people hit the floor, somebody got fouled.
That was a good comment.
That is about as good as it gets, man. I was not, and then Tommy follows him up with the 2 good 4-bits cheers. You got good callers, man. You got good callers.
All right, I'm gonna throw you guys on a curveball. Okay, y'all have got to change y'all's expectation of officiating. Okay, and this happened to me a few years ago, and I'm gonna set it up. Okay, when you go to fast food, you have to have the expectations that they're going to get it wrong, and you have to be surprised if they get it correctly. Fair enough. I hate mayonnaise and tomato. Okay, I hate it. I can't stand it on a sandwich. Okay, but you have to go into it with the expectation that if you order no mayonnaise, you may get extra mayo. You may not. You may get like a plain hamburger, nothing, cheese, nothing. Okay, y'all got to change y'all's expectation, because I wasn't disappointed with the officiating, because I went in with the expectation of that it's awful, and it'll be awful Thursday. It's just officiating across the board, basketball, football. It doesn't matter. It's awful.
Yeah, basketball is, and I've just made peace with the fact that watching our basketball games is like watching a chaotic Chinese fire drill. It's just going to be that way. But here's the good thing. I don't know if you heard them say this last night. I don't know who the three announcers were, but one of them said, "Hey man, doesn't North Carolina get the winner of this game?" And one of the other guys kind of paused and said, "Yeah." He goes, "What do you think those coaches are doing right now trying to get prepared?" It's so true. How do you prepare for that? I think last night we went from being a good basketball team to being a very dangerous basketball team. How do you prepare for that? Because you kind of had a playbook for us. We're not going to play defense. If we're not shooting well, we're in trouble. Last night, every stereotype of this team got thrown out. I mean, that was a war. They gutted it out, man. That was awesome. And then I got to tell you, that Diabate, that's how you say his name, what a breath of fresh air, man. Just a straight-up dog. And then afterwards, he says all the right things. And he's a freshman, so he hasn't been coached too much on what to say. He just said all the right things, and I think he was the key, other than Shears, to pulling that off. We're a dangerous team. Now, nobody want to play that group after watching them last night, don't you think?
You asked me how to prepare for that? Get in a boxing ring with Deontay Wilder, our very own from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the heavy. I mean, I don't know. But I doubt. Surely they'll have better officiating.
Well, you know what we showed last night doesn't matter. You know, for the first time, I really felt all year they showed however you want to tee it up, let's go. We're here and we're not going away. And, Pringle did a good job of maintaining his composure. I was really afraid he was going to completely snap off. He held it together.
But didn't one of the announcers, didn't they call him a wild man last night? Pringle? I think I heard that at one time. He said, man, he's playing wild. I mean, he was fired up.
Yeah. Hey, on the flipping to football. So this A-Day, and I can't make it over there for. I'm going to be on vacation with the wife.
No excuse. No excuse.
I know.
We got Embassy Suites here. We got Marriott. I mean, you could come right here to Tuscaloosa, and if you're lucky, you can go over and stay in North River. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Is there Bahamas sand and clear water there? That's
well, they were going to put a beach. They were going to put a beach over in Northport, $350 million project. So I don't know if that's right now. All we have is Lake Lorraine.
The good news for A-Day is, both my daughters are over there, sorority girls, and they're talking about A-Day and going to A-Day, making it a big to-do and whatnot. And when you got the sorority girls talking about A-Day, you got something working. You got something working for you. Because that's the last crew on earth I would think would be paying attention to A-Day. They are. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
And then, holy cow, there's so much good stuff. I mean, the basketball and then watching Auburn choke their life away, but the recruiting, DeBoer. I hope that DeBoer could maybe recruit at 75% of what Saban did. But he's equaling it. He's equaling his recruiting. And if he does that, Ryan, the beatings are going to continue for a long time. This is a nightmare for the rest of the world if he keeps recruiting like that.
He can't recruit, though.
Anyways, I know.
That's
unbelievable.
All this is just a part of your imagination. It's not really happening. But, and I put it up on Twitter. a couple of days ago, and I put it up on Facebook. You should go read the Georgia replies. Between Georgia and Auburn, they're 1A, 1B. And all I did was say that, hey, you guys were counting out Alabama. Don't think they're, going to be so easy to tap out. But the Dog fans, you can see the anxiety in them. You can hear it in their voice when they reply.
Yes.
I had to mute a couple of Georgia people, too, by the way. First time I've ever muted somebody on a Twitter account, but they were blowing up my phone.
Well, there's a gym I work out at here in town, and there's a lot of college spirit in there. A lot of Longhorns. There's believe it or not, even in Dallas, there's a mix of some Bulldogs, there's a mix of Auburn and whatnot. And as the coaching change was happening, I was getting some very polite kind of smirks and grins and, oh, you poor thing looks from them. That's all stopped here in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's a look of, I don't want to make eye contact.
Well, they don't know what's happening, because how crazy would it be, Jared? What if Kalen DeBoer, because I always say this with hesitation, we were a great football team this past year for a lot of standards. For the standard that Coach Saban had built, we were not very good. We made the playoffs, but that was not a great classical Nick Saban coach football team.
No.
It was his best coaching job to get that team in the playoffs. There's two different things. But what if Kalen DeBoer is able to come in and lift this bar up as far as coaching?
I don't think there's any question he is. I think he is absolutely. I think he's absolutely. He's doing a good job of containing his excitement and enthusiasm. But I think he's absolutely licking his chops, looking at the thoroughbreds that he has out on that practice field and knowing what they can do in his system. And I'm trying not to get too excited. Me and my Bama bros here in Dallas are trying not to get too excited. But honestly, I don't see any reason. I can't see one game on our schedule next year we can't win. And if we're executing, win easily. I really don't. I hate to say that this early in the game, but I just don't. With the talent, I just don't see a game on that schedule that says, "Oh no, that one we can't get that."
Fair enough, Jared. Anything else, man?
No, I just drove to Paris, Texas, man. Isn't that the land of Coach Stallings?
Did you really? Okay, yeah,
I did. I'm on my way to Little Rock, man.
Okay, and there's a little town called Powderly, Texas. It's somewhere right there. I think Paris is like the biggest city, is where he gets his mail. Yeah. But Powderly, Texas, I think is what it is. So it's don't know a lot about that area. Coach Stallings has invited me out a couple times. I'd love to go out and see the ranch and to see Coach Stallings.
You got to do that, and then you got to come on into Dallas, and I'll take you up to the Star, and you can see all the Cowboy stuff, man.
Okay. Oh man. I mean, that'd be.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Lunch, dinner, whatever you want. We can tour the facility. You can see all the Super Bowl trophies, the rings. Heck, man, there's guys walking around. I was walking around the parking garage there recently, and there was Randy White.
Really?
Walking around.
Okay.
They're all over the place.
Do you work close to there, Jared?
I live close to it. I literally could walk to it, and I work from home when I'm not traveling. Like I have meetings in Little Rock tomorrow, so it's right by the house. And so yeah, there's. I mean, I saw Darren Woodson today walk right in front of my car when I was getting out of it. I mean, because a lot of them do stuff up there, you know. And then there's tons of players running around. I mean, it's where they practice. It's where everything is.
Gotcha.
And y'all come on, man. You got to come.
Yeah, y'all have a good Tide support group out there too. What, a Tide in Texas or whatever they're in.
Yeah, Tide in Texas.
Yeah, yeah, because they had a big crawfish cook over the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be more involved. My oldest graduates in May, so she'll be coming back here to go to work. So I'm sure I'll be pulled into going to that stuff with her.
Yeah, a little Tide in Texas. The only reason I know that I was on George Teague's show last week, and he told me about big Tide in Texas. And so, hey, thank you, Jared. Appreciate you, man. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Yeah, I mean, I told Tony Dixon. I told him I gave you his latest cell number. You got to reach out to him sometime, man.
Okay, you gave him my number?
I told him I gave you his number. I sent that to you. I texted to your message to you on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, well, I will double check it. And, I'd love to have Tony. And Tony's from Pickens County, man. So, we love Alabama players, but when you can get a homegrown Alabama player from right here, that's always
good. Dude,
yeah.
He's a good dude. Okay.
Hey, appreciate you, Jay. Hey, safe travels up to Little Rock, man. Thank you.
Okay, see you.
Right back to you. Let's go to Mac Bama. Mac Bama, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ryan, roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide to you.
Hey, man, I'm wondering, is Mark Sears eligible for another year?
Believe he is, yeah.
I wonder what we're going to have to pony up to bring him back.
Well, I got the first 20. What do you think?
I'll match you.
Now we're at 40. Jackson, you got a 20?
Now we're at 60.
Yeah, the COVID year, I'll be glad when we're done with this because the COVID year throws me completely off.
Yeah, me too.
And especially with transfers, because you're all the time going, okay, this guy's here, but I believe there's another year there if he wants it.
Yeah, I do too. And I guess it's good we got him another year if that is the case, because I believe he's obviously the heart and soul of the team, and man, I just love to watch him play.
Well, look at where he's improved. And a lot of us thought, okay, who's going to step in with JQ going to Memphis? There you go.
Yeah. I just hope somebody like Kentucky don't swoop in here and nab him. But
why in the world would you go to Kentucky, though?
Money.
Well, true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Hey, back to Bama football. I'm really liking what I'm seeing and hearing out of the program, and Ryan DeBoer is shaping up to be the real deal. I'm just wondering if the grounds folks there at Bryant Denny and the Walker Champions aren't already scoping out a spot for that 6th statue.
Mac Bama, that is something I haven't thought about, but there is no room for that.
I know. It's tight. They're going to have to do some redesigning for sure.
I guess that's one thing Auburn has over us. They got plenty of room.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, they've got plenty of open space, but that's okay. I mean, I guess we can put Kalen DeBoer up, the statue up at Tusk. I guess. I mean, I'm just thinking in my head, the Walk of Champions. Where would we put him? Yeah, that is a great problem, but trust me, if they win it, I'm sure they'll find us a place.
Yeah, they'll just have to probably move things a little bit closer together. On your credentials, Ryan, and I've done a little research. I haven't done a lot, so you might want to fact check me on this. But I believe we've got more national championship coaches than anybody else. With 5. Now, again, fact check me on that, but I believe that's the case.
I mean, the only team would be even close would be Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, that'd be the only one I could think of, and but I believe Rockton won most of theirs. But yeah. So what do you think we're going to do Thursday?
Well, I like Vegas. This line keeps dropping. It's down to 3.5 in 2 different spots. I like to look at this one website where it's got like 15 different sports books across the country. And not just, even though we make a reference of Vegas, right? Vegas. But if you look at it seems to be between 3.5 and 4 is where we're at. I don't even see a lot of 4.5s now.
That's good.
So just based on that, I mean, I don't really have, a strong opinion one way or the other. We'll try to get Torres on tomorrow to kind of give us some thoughts. He's out there in L.A. That's where he lives. So hopefully he can give us a scouting report as we go closer to the time.
I think that game last night may have toughened us up a little bit, and if we were to go a little bit deeper, that game last night helped us.
That was a physical. I had about to say football game. That was a physical basketball game. Tough.
Yeah. But hopefully we'll. I've got them in the Final Four. Unfortunately, my bracket is not busted yet. But
hold on a minute. Your bracket is still alive?
Yeah. As far as the Final Four goes.
Okay. The Final Four. Okay. How many of the Sweet 16 teams do you have?
Oh, I don't know. I ain't got it in front of me. But
okay.
I took a beating that first day, like most folks.
You didn't pick the Bugs to advance, did you?
I did not.
Did you pick them to get beat by Yale?
I didn't pick them to go to the Sweet 16. I think I had them losing. I had them beating Yale, but not going any further.
Yeah, swimming season down on the plains.
I just can't sign off on Bruce Pearl. I feel like I need to take a shower even if I think about that guy. You know, he's just got a,
You know, speaking of
raunchy.
Yeah, speaking of integrity, when you think of integrity, you don't think of Bruce Pearl.
Or Hugh Freeze.
Like I said, the hardest job in the state of Alabama is very simple. The compliance director across the state.
Yep. That's right. Hey, Ryan, where are you from in North Alabama?
You know where Boaz is?
Yep.
I'm below Boaz. And if I describe the sticks, you probably wouldn't know it anyway. It's just a small community. But I'm from Blount County. I know Boaz is in Marshall, but I'm from below Boaz. Because I don't claim Aniana because Aniana was a rival. So I'd rather not promote Aniana, even though it's okay. But that was our big rival growing up. So I always tell people Boaz. It says I don't want to say the word Aniana. So I know that makes no. Albertville's right there too. Yeah, Boaz, Albertville. My grandmother lived in Albertville for a long, long time. So spent a lot of time there as a kid. And
so you know all about the hollers then.
Oh yeah. That's why AC in Bangladesh speaks my language. I mean, we're down in the holler.
So I noticed on your profile on the website that you like to do some hiking. You ever get up into the Sipsey Wilderness?
You know, I've never been, but, you know, TJ Thomas, one of our big sponsors, the pharmacy at Midtown, has told me about multiple different waterfalls up there that him and his wife go to. And I've never, what is it, Bankhead National Forest? Is that what that is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never been up there I've done a lot of hiking over in the other part of the state, back over toward, Mount Cheehaw, a bunch of trails up there. Enjoy that. And obviously hiked a ton around here locally, but, and we've done also the Little River, canyons. We've done a bunch of hikes up there too. That's a beautiful part of the state, but never on that side of the state, on the western part of the state.
Yeah, it's a really different landscape. A lot of canyons and rock bluff shelters, a lot of waterfalls, a lot of old growth forests. If you're into that stuff, it's beautiful up there. You need to check it out.
Well, and I've always wanted to deer hunt up in the Bankhead, but they say to get it out because you can't carry a four-wheeler in there. You got to drag it out. So if you kill something, but anyway, I like this hike. I mean, we've got some land that's out in a county that's to the left of Tuscaloosa. I say to the left, to the west of Tuscaloosa, and we go out sometimes just out walking. Just taking our dog and going out, but we love to get out and hike. And if you ever see me, I kind of look like an outdoorsman too. So, I mean, I'm just kind of got that woolly bully beard and just kind of fit right in with the outdoors. Just, I don't know, I guess it's a lifestyle, but my wife and I enjoy it. And it really, when you're hiking, it kind of forces you to shut down your phone. So we love to hike. And, for many years, I always thought about hiking the Appalachian Trail. Always wanted to do that. And
I've done the Georgia stretch.
Have you really?
82 miles.
From Springer to where? To
Bly Gap up in North Carolina.
Okay.
Right across the North Carolina line. It's excellent. I mean, but you could just see the mountains as you get up into North Carolina. You can see those mountains just starting to blow up. I assume it gets a lot rougher with regard to the hike the strenuous of the hike as you get across the state line.
And that's probably one of those things that you can do if you're going to hike it, unless you're just going to be a section hiker and, hike those little portions. But if you're going to take it and hike the whole entire thing from Georgia, Mount Springer all the way up to, what is it, Vermont or Maine? Is it Maine?
Maine.
Yeah. So hiking up there. That's right. Because I always see the generic photo with that little thing that looks like it's about to fall down. They take the photo, but most of those are probably college grads or high school grads, because there's nobody else that can take off 4 or 5 months worth of work and just skip it out. And but I've always
you can.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
You can usually find a lot of camping gear in the North Georgia section of the trail from people who start at Springer. They get 4 or 5 days in and they start dumping their gear.
Yeah, see, I've seen a lot of that too, and I'm on a couple of Facebook groups, so I have to live vicariously through other people. Just watching them and kind of following. I tracked a hiker a couple of years ago that was on a YouTube, and it was about a 4-month hike, and it was kind of fun just to see that. But I tell you that, speaking of beauty, if you ever get a chance, man, my wife and I went to Alaska 2 years in a row, back-to-back summers. Unbelievable if you're a hiker.
Yeah, 2026.
That's where you're going?
2026.
Well, talk to me.
Going.
Yeah, talk to me before you get there, because, man, I can give you a lot of advice on Alaska. And
yeah, I'm looking forward. That is a bucket. That's a bucket list for sure.
Trust me. We went up to Denali and we hiked, in some of the national parks, and we even got, back down in the inner passage there around Juneau, and hiked some stuff in there, some 12, 13 mile hikes, pretty reasonable, manageable hikes for a day. But man, it's simply amazing. The only way I can describe Alaska is everywhere you turn is a postcard. You just turn, it's postcard. Turn here, it's postcard. It's just simply, it's almost like your brain becomes tired because you see so many beautiful sceneries. But yeah, I love to hike. Love to hike and love to get out and just enjoy God's beautiful creation.
I'm doing a couple nights up in the Sipsey in May. So I'll send you. I'll text you some pictures or something.
Okay. Well, hey, hit me up on Facebook, man, because I'd love to see what you got going on. And I follow a couple of guys that's up in the Sipsey. Like I said, I've never been, but I'm in a couple of Facebook groups around the Sipsey. What he's talking about is the Bankhead Sipsey. For those who may or may not know, the Sipsey River is out on the western part of the county here, and actually it's right at the Tuscaloosa-Pickens County line, but he's talking about the Sipsey Wilderness, which is up in Bankhead National Forest. So, MacBama, thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Hit me on Facebook.
I will. Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. And always enjoy. I mean, he got me talking about something I don't really talk a lot about, but love to put on a good pair of hiking boots and go after it, man. It's a lot of fun to get out and explore God's wonderful creation. We'll come back. We'll take Marty on Arkansas. Oh, no, not him. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A woman is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Tuscaloosa on Monday morning. Details are sparse, but Jack Kennedy, the commander of the multi-agency Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit, said police are at Aspen Village Apartments where one female subject is deceased. In addition, a Hoover woman was killed Sunday night in a head-on collision on the interstate in Tuscaloosa. Also, the Town Square Media Weather Center is monitoring a weather system that could travel across the state of Alabama, bringing concerns of strong storms, windy conditions, and heavy rainfall to the area. You can read about these stories and more at the TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Lots more activity now on the roadways. We're in the thick of your rush to home, and 2059 eastbound packed at Northport Tuscaloosa bypass due to road construction blocking that left lane. And you've also got a crash in Cottondale, Skyland Boulevard, southbound near University Boulevard, blocking a lane. Highway 1 now. I'm Tammy Thomas.
Prices are falling at Townsend Nissan. Don't wait. Rates as low as 0%. Townsend Nissan, Tuscaloosa.
With only 43 seconds remaining, facing a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line at Jordan-Hare Stadium, quarterback Jalen Milroe finds himself under immense pressure, scrambling to connect with Isaiah Bond in the corner of the end zone for a miraculous come-from-behind victory over Auburn. The jaw-dropping 27-24 result came on the 10th anniversary of the Kick Six. Daniel Moore is proud to announce 4th and 31, his upcoming oil painting featuring the now famous Gravedigger play. New Life Art is now accepting pre-orders for limited edition fine art prints and canvases of 4th and 31. See the preliminary pencil sketch for the artist's full color painting at danielmooreart.com. Pre-order.
It's that easy. So visit a Boost Mobile store today and get after it. Ends 3/31/24 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Other restrictions apply. Visit your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy and windy this afternoon. The high close to 70. Very windy tonight. Rain and thunderstorms arriving mainly after midnight, below 58. Tomorrow, any lingering showers ending early in the day, becoming partly sunny. The high 72. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 69 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
You're listening to the best sports talk show, breaking down the Crimson Tide. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. I do want to remind you about the Spring Open House happening at Northport Power Equipment. It all gets started on Wednesday. Chance to go by, get some barbecue. Lunch will be served from 11 a.m. until 1:30, plus giveaways, including a free saw, trimmer, or a blower. You can register to win. They've got chainsaw carving artist Chad Gainey, which has been out there several years. Go out there, even if you go get a barbecue sandwich, pull up a chair back of your truck and watch this guy. It's amazing what he'll take with a stick of wood and literally be able to carve something up. Pretty awesome. You go into Northport Power Equipment, they get all of those great things. But your chance to go out and get some Archibalds barbecue, free gifts. You also see the great demo of the Otto mower right there at our good folks, Northport Power Equipment. Northport Power Equipment, the number one inventory for Husqvarna dealer in the entire Southeast is right here. You can find Skag, commercial mowers, residential mowers, weed trimmers, battery-operated tools, and I think really that's the future. When you look at battery-operated tools, you can find the Husqvarna and the Crest Power outdoor equipment. Go see Brian Keith Ellis, Mr. Ellis. Appreciate those guys for being a longtime part of the show. It is Northport Power Equipment. This week, starting on Wednesday, March the 27th, it is the Spring Open House. But it's not just Wednesday. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Your chance to go out and see those guys and tell them the game sent you. Let's continue here with more. 205-342-9904. Marty, Arkansas. Marty, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Good afternoon, Ryan Fowler. Roll Tide.
Yeah, good.
Hey, it's Yale. It's not Yale. It's Yale.
Yale.
Yeah, like the guy does imitates Charles Barkley on that show.
Oh, Kenny?
I laugh every time.
Is that what you're talking about?
Every time.
Yeah.
I laugh every time. But Ryan, the refs last night, that was we lost our cool for a little bit, but they were bad, Ryan. I know it's hard to ref, but it was bad. What made me mad, they like Note said, they bang around, or the announcers on even, because I watched it and then listen on radio too, so I get the Bama perspective. It might be, but they were letting them bang around down on in the free throw area around the goal. But when you get out towards 25 feet, all we would do is blow on their face a little bit, and they call a foul on us. No, they weren't consistent. It was on one end and not the other.
Well, I think that's what you want as a coach. I'm sure that's probably what Nate Oates, he's not going to talk about officiating.
And I think Pringle, I don't know, like the announcer said, what was Pringle doing with the clipboard, but I think he was a little frustrated too. So I mean, you get frustrated. But they held together, and the last 4 minutes they knew how to play. And another thing you can say about this team, your strongest link is the last man on the bench. The last man on the bench come off last night, scored 9 points, grabbed two offensive rebounds we missed on the 3 throws, and we put them back in.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody thought he'd come in and do anything. He scored 9, and he'd been sitting on the bench, hadn't played much at all. But he come in and showed that he'd been playing, how he'd been practicing. That's for sure. But Ryan, in this game, Oates needs to take them down to the Pacific Ocean, get some water, dump on their legs, get that salt water in there, and then when they start shooting those threes, they'll be dropping like gangbusters. They're going to hit 13 to 15 threes on Thursday. They ain't going to play anybody as physical as the last 2 teams. North Carolina ain't going to be – that big guy in the middle might be a little fit, but we'll get him in foul trouble real early, and he'll be out the game, and then we'll dominate. But we're going to bomb away at threes. Everybody else has done it. One guy's hit 10. Another guy Connecticut went off. It's time for Alabama. We haven't gone off in a while. We've been 8 for 33 and stuff like that. It's about time we go 15 for 30.
So do you believe, Marty?
Oh yeah. Ryan, this team has been against the wall too. And I still say, if I don't know his name, but the guy that got hit in the head and had the concussion, if he would have played in the Tennessee game, we win the Tennessee game. We've got to have him. We've got to have him Thursday. He you know, there's where the bench, you know, that's where, and if he plays, Ryan, I don't have no problem with rotation. It's just that we can't get in the foul trouble, and we can't give up easy, cheap fouls. And that's what, no. But another thing, like I always complain about, and on the radio show today, Oates don't talk about playing defense. He just wants to run and outscore. No, he preaches defense every game, and it's just that they.
Well, I can't tell you the number of press conferences I've been where he's talked about defense.
You know, I mean, they didn't buy in till the last 4 minutes of that game. They didn't score. They had turnover after turnover after turnover, and we bought in, and that's what I was really proud about this team. But yeah, I believe, you know, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be. I don't care how you say it. It's still going to be how it's called, and who hits the most threes. You hit the free throws and win the turnover battle. You win the free throw, hit your free throws, and win the turnover battle. You win the game. You don't turn it over. You win that battle right there, and you hit every free throw you got. You win the game. You go look at it. Look at the box scores from everybody in the tournament.
All right, Marty.
Scored it, you know. But Ryan, we went. Oh, Ryan, one thing too I like about the board, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think he's already decided. This is my quarterback. This is what we're going with. Everyone else is buying in, and this is how we're going to start the season.
I think that's pretty much what he said last Wednesday when he was a part of our show live.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, you go to a lot, and you're in the building. I just wonder what you thought about that. That's all.
No, I think,
all right, Ryan,
and that question was about his quarterback room, and he took us to Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I think Milroe's going to be the boy. We got to decide who's going to pick who's going to be the number 2 guy and who ain't going to transfer out. All right, Ryan. Hey, you have a good night, and I'll yell at you tomorrow.
Thank you, Marty. Have a great day, man.
I got to go do my Arkansas thing tomorrow and tell them how good Alabama is, because I know they're going to say North Carolina going to beat us pretty bad.
All right. Thanks, Marty. Have a great rest of your day, man. Thank you so much. We'll come back
for his points. Remember M for money and Mezrano.
If it has a logo on it, call me. 205-800-8800. $8,000.
Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823. Custom curbing for your home or business. Do away with those plastic individual stone borders. Go for that more permanent, decorative concrete border. No more grass growing between those individual stones. Cleaner to edge to maintain. They're willing to travel, not just here in Tuscaloosa, but also in our neighboring states as well over in Mississippi. Many colors and choices. They'll customize for that individual taste and house. Give them a call at 205-331-6823. You could also go to their Facebook account. Find their page. You can see exactly what the videos. They came out, did a free quote. Paul gave me an evaluation. Give them a call, 205-331-6823.
Each at counselingservice.org/DBC or may be purchased at the door for $40. Proceeds benefit the Family Counseling Service of West Alabama.
The best station in the state, breaking down Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. Let's talk and we stay. Can you take me higher? To a place where the line and sea. Can you take me like a world of change, it helps me to appreciate those nights and those dreams.
All right, so we're going to be a little gentle, okay? We're not going to be as rough as we normally are on Digger. They got punched out by Tennessee, and welcome to the SEC. Digger, I hope all is well.
What do you mean punched out? There was a window there. We could have won that game. Good Lord. Just to remind you, Texas women's basketball, we railed you out to the yard, buddy. Just to remind you.
Go ahead, take your victory lap. Take your victory lap. Go ahead, honor it.
I'm just running. It's just another notch. I'm not going to do the victory lap yet. We still got to take on LSU and South Carolina. That's your two powerhouses there. You kind of got to question their anatomy, but anyway, real quick, I want to talk about. I want to talk about the hip drop.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Let it rip.
Do you not remember Dak Prescott's gruesome injury? That was a hip drop. Do you not remember the quarterback at Florida State? That was a hip drop. Pollard, that was a hip drop. 25% greater to get injured if you do the hip drop. Fine, I know y'all are in the habit of taking out players at Alabama, but it ruined the game. The whole season was run. That's what Jerry Jones says. I'm quoting because we lost the quarterback to the hip drop. Okay, it's just like the chop block, except it takes two guys with the chop block. Come on, let's play a clean game. If you already got your arms around the waist, you're there. All you got to do is bring him down. Don't drop your hip and throw your legs on his leg. If his foot's planted, it's a broken leg or a busted knee, high ankle sprain. In this case, you saw that. It was. I think he broke his ankle. He had to get 4 screws in it. He's never been the same since. Am I right?
Okay.
Hello.
I'm just listening to you.
Well, yeah, but I need your comment on this because y'all like to take out quarterbacks. Okay? Can you not just play the game and don't do the lazy thing of doing a hip drop? You know, we had a guy.
I mean,
in
you
high
do
school
realize
do
this
that.
is we're talking about an NFL rule, not college, right? I mean, you keep
I
saying
understand
we, that y'all like to do this.
Yeah, but y'all, it's the same thing.
All we like to do is break
all the time.
Texas quarterbacks, collarbone. That's what we like to do.
Well, that's the point I was trying to make is that you can't be going on rolling on shoulders, hip drops, chop block. head to head. Y'all got a bad habit of doing all that.
I think Digger prefers flag football.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever seen the sumo wrestlers where they go into this big bubble, and that's what he wants?
No.
That's what he wants football to turn into.
I want a clean game. If you don't want to do that, I need 5 more roster spots, and guess what? The owners aren't going to go for that. They don't want to add to the payroll. And the union would be all about it.
Oh, the 53-man roster?
Yeah. Add 5 more if we're going to be doing the hip drop. And tell Tommy, the commie from Romulus, Texas women basketball rolled ya. Okay, have a nice weekend. And by the way, who did y'all play in the tournament? Just to remind you, who did y'all play?
Grand Canyon.
And who else?
Charleston.
Yeah, play somebody before you think about Final Four. Holy cow.
Hey,
have a nice
Hey, Digger, there's a reward for having good seasons,
It is, but play somebody before you start talking Final Four.
You want to step out of that? You want to?
No, I'm just saying, play somebody first. Why don't you play Tennessee?
We already did that. Now we don't.
Yeah, and you lost your ass, buddy. I'm just saying. All right, later.
Holla, JR, Coker, Alabama. JR, good afternoon. You're in the game. Hey, JR.
No, he may have lost me. He's having some issues.
Oh, he was having some fun. Okay, no stress. No stress. Let's go to Ellis, Manchester, Tennessee. Ellis, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Okay. That all he knows how to say is okay.
He wants you to be disappointed, and we are.
We're still in the tournament, and they're not. So, no matter who we play.
They got bounced out, Ellis. They got bounced out.
Yeah. Got bounced out by the orange people, the ball. So, hooray for that.
Well, Texas is into irrelevant sports. They really love them. Synchronized swimming.
They're irrelevant all around.
Things like that.
Yes, me.
Yeah. Well, but why do you focus on that when you don't have other things? Fair enough?
Yeah, he focused on all these other crazy sports. He wants to bring all them other sports up.
And that's coming from our rowing correspondent.
Yeah.
Ellis covers rowing for us.
Yeah, I'm going to go down there and watch them practice here one of these days down there on the river. All I got to do is just go down there and find them and watch them. Fired a big Red Tech grill up today.
Oh, you did? Okay.
This morning at 5 o'clock.
And
I put a piece of meat on there.
Yeah, and you won that via the game right here.
Yes, I did.
How was it? Well, have you tried it yet?
Oh, yeah. Had fixed beef brisket. I sent you a couple pictures of it.
Okay. I'll have to go look. But it pretty solid, huh?
Yes.
Brisket's a challenge.
But I thought I done pretty good for the first time. And then plus that grill, it's them Red Tech grills are idiot proof.
Oh, I see the photo. You got a little smoke ring around there. That's where you're winning. You know when you're winning right there.
Yeah, that's my first time ever doing that, so I thought I done pretty good. Pretty good.
Lord, yeah, look at that.
But then I got bad news about my car today.
Uh-oh.
$675 plus tax, and it'll be fixed.
How bad of a problem is it?
Coil pack.
Okay.
3 coil packs.
Okay.
And valve cover gasket and the tube where the spark plugs go, there's like tubes that go down in there to keep the oil out. Well, they were shot too, so
that's you're speaking a foreign language to me. I don't even really know what a coil pack is. I know what it is or what it kind of does, but I don't know a lot about it.
When one goes bad, or 2 goes bad, it's like you're down them cylinders.
Ooh.
So if I had 3 bad coil packs, I was running on 3 cylinders this morning.
I got you. Hey, I got to get out of here, Ellis. I'm out of time, man. I always appreciate you. I hope you have a great day and hope you get that car working, man.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.
Hey, let me tell you about the Standard Mouth hot fresh pizzas now available by DoorDash, or visit the Standard on the Strip. We're the home of the 20-inch pizza pie, pepperoni, meat lovers, cheese. Design your own. The Standard on the Strip also features wings, boneless wings, fresh made to hand order cut fries, mac and cheese bites, cheese sticks. Dine in with a full service restaurant. Order online, thestandardbama.com. Lunch, dinner, late night, the best pizza in T-Town is the Standard on the Strip. Big thanks to Jackson. Big thanks to Noah. Big thanks to Nate Oates, Trudy Arman, Barrett Salib, Martin Houston. If you missed any of those, Tide109.com. We remind you that we call this program The Game. The only way that you can win the big game, the game of life, is to walk daily with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Good night, T-Town.
Thank you for listening to The Game with